하식스와 LG 울트라 기어가
Alright,
함께하는
welcome back
ASL
to
시즌 11
another
마지막
ASL
F조
and
경기를
again,
인사드립니다. 안녕하세요,
We're gonna be
이영경입니다.
casting ASL Season11 Ro.24 Group
모든
F,
선수들이 결정되게 되는데요.
and this is gonna be the
현재까지는
final
저그와
group.
테란에서 각각
So we'll
5명,
be deciding who's gonna be in round of 16. And we're gonna be seeing, checking out 4 players
자, 과연
soon.
오늘 경기를 통해서는 어떤 선수들이 16강에 오를 수 있을지 먼저 첫 출전을 앞두고 있는 두 명의
So they are
선수죠. 변현재 선수와
we're gonna be
배우현
seeing,
선수 만나보겠습니다.
we're gonna be meeting up 2
안녕하세요.
players,
안녕하세요.
Mini
네, 먼저
and
변현재
Soso.
선수 1일차 경기에서는 결승에서 아쉽게 패배했지만 그래도 2일차 경기 모든 경기를 승리하면서 또 이렇게 본선 무대에
Mini,
함께하게 되셨습니다.
You lost in ASL qualifier day 1,
변현재
but you
선수의
made
생각은
it through in
어떠세요?
day 2
솔직히 조
qualifier.
자체는 엄청 만족스러운데
How do you feel about your group?
제가 이제 ASL에서 24강에
Many
떨어질
answers.
때마다 마지막 수였거든요.
아,
그 기억이 두 번이나 있어가지고
Mini answers
네.
that his
저는
group,
만족스러운데
he is satisfied with the
순서가 마음에
players
들어요.
in his group, and he has a good feeling that he will be advancing into round of
그걸
16.
떨쳐버리는 것도 또 하나의 좀 과제가 될 것 같은데 오늘 경기 좀 준비를 단단히 해오셨을 것 같아요. 느낌은 좀 어떠세요?
네, 일단은 느낌 자체는
And how do you
괜찮은
feel?
것 같고
Okay, I feel great.
할수 있을 것 같아요.
I have a strong feeling that I'll be
배우현 선수와도
advancing
인사를 좀
into
나눠봐야
round
될것
of
같습니다.
16.
안녕하세요.
And hello to Soso.
ASL
How are you
팬
doing, Soso?
여러분들에게는 처음으로 좀 얼굴을 알리게 되셨는데
It's your first time showing your face on ASL.
어떠신지도 좀 듣고 싶어요.
And how do you
많이
feel about
긴장되시나요?
처음에
How do you feel about
경기장
being
오기
in
전까지만
this
해도
ASL
설레었는데
round of 24 group
세팅하고
stage?
그러다 보니까 지금 너무 긴장돼요.
그래서 저와 인터뷰 전에 변현재 선수에게 좀 떨리냐고 물어보셨던 것 같아요. 아무래도 경험이 많은 변현재 선수는 좀 덜 긴장됐을
So he
거라고
said that
생각하는
while
것
he was
같은데
setting up his
변현재 선수 좀
equipment
어떠세요? 긴장되세요?
and the time is getting
올
closer
때마다
that he
항상
needs to play his game,
그러니까요.
he
예,
just started to feel more
일대
nervous.
긴장이 안 될 수가 없는 무대인 것 같은데 배우현 선수는 그럼에도 불구하고 오늘 조금은 웃을 수 있지 않을까 하는 생각이 드는 게 같은 조에 있던 예선전에서 한두열 선수를 잡아내신 경험이 있으세요.
Even though your group is going to be a
오늘도
tough
어떤
group
경우의 수에 따라서
to
한두열
play,
선수를 만날
but
수
however,
있는 또 순간이
there's
있을
a
수도
one
있는데
player
좀 자신감이
you
있으신가요?
have beaten in ASL qualifier when you qualified for
무조건 이길
ASL.
것 같다. 예선에서 승리를
And how do you
거뒀을 때
feel
느낌이
if you're gonna be
굉장히
playing
좋으셨던
against
것
that player
같아요.
once again? And Soso answers that
두 번 떨고 나서
I have a great feeling. I do not feel like I'm gonna be losing to that player.
자신감이 넘치는 모습을
because
좀
I dropped him
보여주고
2
있는
times in a row.
배우현 선수인데요. 변현재 선수는 사실
So we'll be
시즌 7
playing again
준우승이라는
once again
고점
in this group
딱
group
찍고
stage.
나서 이후에 변현재 선수의 팬 여러분들께서는 우리 현재 더 할 수 있는데 라는 아쉬움만 지금 계속 좀 남겨주고 계시잖아요. 이번 시즌에 좀 뭔가 그 뛰어넘는 모습을 보여주고 싶으실 텐데 준비 과정이 어떠셨는지 좀
You haven't performed
솔직히
really that
우승을
great
하고 나서
on a
실력에 좀 자신감이
ASL
많이
stage
없었거든요.
or ASL
네.
games.
결승 갈 실력도
You've been
안
getting
나와서
eliminated,
그랬는데
easily.
이제 준우승까지 한 것 같고 근데 지금 이제 또 다시
And
되는
how
시기인 것
do you
같아요.
feel about your
그래가지고 이번 시즌은 꼭
current shape?
높이 올라갈 수 있.
And Mini answers that
변현재 선수가 생각하고 있는 고점은 어디일지
I am
좀
currently
궁금한데요.
playing really well
일단은
recently,
목표는
and
시드를 받는 게 제일 목표예요.
4강.
네.
it's just pretty much having a great feeling.
그 다음은 우승이겠죠. 준우승까지 해보신 경험이 있으시니까. 근데 제가 두
Also,
선수에 대한
Mini
얘기를
actually
하다
has
보다 보니
got a
좀
second
재밌는
place
부분이
in a tournament
있었습니다.
before.
두 선수가
So his
SKS
final
같은
goal
소속이었다고.
in the
물론,
tournament is that
배우현
he's
선수도
gonna be a
공식적
champion.
출전 경험은
But he wants to be a
없으셨지만
champion
같은 팀이었던
of ASL
경험이
tournament.
있으신데 혹시 배우현 선수, 변현재 선수에 대한 좀 기억이 있으신가요?
The caster asks also,
지금이랑 똑같은 것 같아요.
is there any
지금하고 똑같다는 건
difference
지금은 좀 어떤
of
좀
a
인상을
past-
받고 계신가요?
the Mini's
변현재 선수에?
그냥
past game and current play?
플레이가 옛날부터
And Soso answers that
독특하다 해야 되나?
독특하다.
Mini's playstyle is a bit
변현재 선수는
unique
오늘
compared to the
배우현
other
선수에게 좀
Protoss
어떤
player,
기억을, 어떤
but it
인상을
seems a bit
남겨주고
same to
싶으신지
him.
또 첫 경기잖아요.
네.
So Mini, it's going to be your
조열이 형한테 엄청 자신감
first game
있잖아요.
playing against
네,
Soso.
저랑 아직 안 해본 것 같은데 이제 제가 첫 번째 판에 이제 확실하게 경기력을 보여주고 다음번에 만나면 좀 주눅들게 만들 수 있게.
좀 벽을 느끼게 해주겠다.
Oh, looks like
좋습니다.
he's
자,
pretty
이제
much
팬
answering that
여러분들께서
he
이제
will
두 분께
destroy
궁금하신
Soso
점을
in this
남겨주셨는데요. 변현재
game number
선수에게
1.
드리는 질문입니다.
So
최근
next
변현재
time
선수가
whenever
개인
he
방송에서
faced
승리를
Mini
거두고
once
나니까
again,
따봉 세레머니를
he will have
자주
those
하시는 걸 보셨어요, 팬들이.
the nerves,
이번
like
ASL
remembering all
그런
those
세레머니를
past
자주 볼 수
game
있을까요?
that he lost really badly,
ASL은
so he won't be keeping up.
이기는 것보다 더 기쁠 테니까.
So let's say one of the questions to Mini.
자연스럽게
Can we get to see your ceremony, your thumbs up ceremony?
배우현 선수에게 남겨주신
And I think he said he
질문입니다.
can do it.
ASL에 처음으로 진출한 배우현 선수다 보니까 어떤 선수일까 궁금하신 분들이 굉장히 많으신 것 같아요.
Caster is saying
한마디로 좀
that,
본인을 소개한다면 어떤
is there any
말씀을
words
해주고 싶으신가요?
how you gonna be describing yourself to your
아마추어예요.
fans?
아마추어 이용호라고.
아마추어의 이영호다.
Ooh, so
이거보다
he
더
answered
강력한
that.
한마디는 없을
Remember
것
me
같습니다.
as amateur
자, 두 선수
flash.
각오가 굉장히 남다를 것
Amateur
같은데요.
Lee Young-ho.
마지막으로 각오를 한마디씩 들어보겠습니다. 변현재
So
선수.
final word before we move on to
일단은
your game.
24강은 이제 무조건 뚫어야 된다라고 생각하고.
So first of all, I'm here to
네,
qualify
오늘
into round of
올라갈 수
16
있는 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
or advance
네,
into the round of 16.
올라가겠습니다.
두 선수의 첫
It
경기
looks like,
굉장히
yeah, Soso is
기대됩니다.
gonna be
인터뷰
saying the same
감사드리고요.
thing.
멋진
He's
경기
gonna be
기대할게요.
he wants to
고맙습니다.
advance into round of 16 as well.
자, 이렇게 해서 첫 출전을 앞두고 있는 변현재 선수와 배호연 선수와 인터뷰 나눠봤습니다. 두 선수 모두 각오가 남다른 만큼 아마 치열한 경기가 좀 예상되는데요. 자, 두 번째 경기 출전을 앞두고 있는 선수들.
So game number 2, we're gonna be meeting up another two players.
안녕하세요.
Mong and Miso. Oh my god, he has such a thick thigh.
화면에 본인을 보고 좀 깜짝 놀라신 것 같아요.
He's surprised
어,
at himself when he
윤찬희
looked at
선수
himself.
굉장히 좀 오랜만에 뵙게 됐는데 2일차 단 한 번의 예선 참가로 또 깔끔하게 24강 진출에 성공하셨습니다.
So
예선 때 이번
you
시즌
advanced,
나 윤찬이
you qualified in an
올라갈
ASL
수 있을 것 같다라는
qualifier
느낌이
in day
받으셨어요.
1.
예선은
How do you
저번
feel?
제가
No,
예선
was it in day 1?
떨어지면서
I'm not
그
sure.
객은
I can't remember.
사라졌거든요. 10번 연속 객은 사라졌는데 이게 이제 ASL 이제 관계자
A lot of people remember him as a funny guy,
좀 약간 쉽게
like
만들어 주셔가지고
doing some kind of a characteristic stuff when he is on
예선 올라온
his game, like eating or drinking, any kinds of stuff.
나에게 좀 쉽다라는
So
느낌이 좀
he's
드시나요?
planning to just go back into the original player, focusing on focusing on being as a competitive player.
무조건 올라가겠다 이런 생각을
So
할 수
I'm here.
있을 만한 존데
네.
지금은 솔직히 좀 자신감이
Okay,
많이
looks like
떨어져서
he's saying that
네,
previously
좀 힘들 것 같습니다. 오늘 약간
it was a piece of
올라가더라도
cake
힘겹게 올라갈 것 같아요.
advancing into round of 16, but nowadays that his shape is a bit off from the
모습이 있었습니다. 안녕하세요.
off from the previous game, like how well he was playing.
당시에 이렇게까지 힘들 거라는
He's
생각이
not that
드셨나요?
confident.
워낙 ASL
And hello to Miso.
보여주셨어서
You've been showing such a great game on ASTL and also qualifiers as well.
이번 예선 너무 어렵게 올라가가지고
So,
그 수식어가 붙었더라고. 예선 다승왕이라고.
so Miso is saying that
예.
in previous ASL tournament it was easy to qualify into round of 24, but this season it was really tough. I had to go through day 1, lose, and day 2, lost again, and day 3, but I finally made it through in day 3.
근데 두열이가 이게 솔직히 무시할 만한 실력은 아니거든요, 이 친구가.
How do you feel?
fut발이 좀 딸려서 그렇지.
How are you gonna be playing in your game?
10분 안에는
And how do you think about your opponent? And
네.
Mong is answering that Miso
약간 평소대로 하면 이긴다. 약간 이런 느낌입니다. 예.
Miso has one great punch. If you let your guard down, I can lose my game. That's what he's pretty much saying.
인터뷰 들으면서 현장에서 좀 어떤 마음이 드셨을까요?
아니 근데
How do you feel about listening to?
못 만날 것 같은데요, 제가 볼 때.
How do you feel about listening to Soso's interview earlier that he's saying that he's very confident,
하지만 네, 무조건 이기고.
and also you're gonna be playing against Mong as well.
있기 때문에 아마 2패 탈락해서 저를 못 만나지 않을까 싶습니다. 예.
So Miso is answering that he thinks Soso will lose 2 games in a row and won't be meeting Miso in group stage.
좀 치열하지 않을까라고 말씀을 많이 하고 계시는데요. 두 선수는 오늘 경기에 대한 자신감이 좀 어느 정도이실지 한두열 선수는 개인적으로 승자전 진출을 좀 목표로 두고 계신가요?
일단은 그 테란전 위주로 연습을 많이 했는데
네.
I hope
변현재
so.
선수가
Miso is
워낙 잘하는
answering.
선수이기 때문에
Miso is answering that he focus on Zerg versus Terran matchup more than Zerg versus Protoss matchup. I know that Mini is such a great player as well, but
윤찬희 선수는 오늘 인터뷰
he has two Terran in his group,
보이세요.
so he feels like he needs to prepare playing against Terran more than playing versus Protoss.
오, 정확히 짚으셨습니다.
오, 네.
말은 이렇게 했지만 2승 한도열 2승 말 같지도 않은 소리예요. 제가
Mong is saying that
제가 봤을 때는
he does not agree what Miso said. Miso is not going to be advancing into round of 16 with 2 wins.
변현재 빼고 이 세 명이서 다 할 것 같습니다.
Because I'm going to be
합쳐지는,
playing against
재미난 싸움,
Miso in the first game.
보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 예.
I won't be letting him
초반에만
to take the
조심하면
first win.
후반까지 간다면 한두열을 상대로 충분히 이길 수 있다라고 윤찬희 선수가 또 조금 전에 말씀을 하셨는데 그럼 오늘 좀 뭔가 운영에
네.
대한 진수를 좀 보여줄 각오가 되어 있으신 건가요?
이 친구가 근데 후반을 잘 안 가잖아요.
Mong is saying that
초반만 잘 유심히 쳐다보려고 준비하고 있습니다.
does not
이러다가도
네.
또
play
이 친구가
late game much.
제가
He
이런
usually
생각을 할 것도
focus on
이
an
친구도
early
프로지
mid game
않습니까? 다 알고
and
있어요.
try to
그렇죠. 다
그
인정하고
약간
있겠죠.
그거를
mess up the
이용한
game of
역심리전의
how Terran
운영까지
wants to
네.
optimize
머릿속에 다
their
넣고 왔기 때문에
their
네,
beginning.
저는 뭐 자신 있습니다.
So I'm gonna be focusing on the
한두열
early
선수
game,
어떠세요?
and I'm not gonna be
윤찬희
losing
선수의 이런
into
역심리까지 좀
other
생각하고
crazy
있는
all-in
모습.
and other.
굉장히 우습다는 표정으로
Weird
굉장히
build.
말렸는데요.
선수가 보고
표정
계신
굉장히
것
말렸는데요.
같은데
Looks
어떻게
like
좀 묘수를 준비해
I
오셨나요?
point out I
묘수할
point
거가
out
있고, 아니,
Miso's
원래
weakness,
빌드를 준비하고
and Miso's
있었는데
cannot really.
어제 이 친구의 게임을 봤는데
Oh,
너무
so
못하는 거예요.
Miso is saying that
빌드를 바꾸고 또
Miso
연습을
was
했기 때문에
watching
충분히 자신 있습니다.
Mong's
네.
stream
에스크 ASL을
couple
통해서
days
팬
ago,
여러분이 남겨주신
and
질문을
his
좀
current
잘해
play
드려볼
isn't
텐데요.
that
윤찬희 선수
clean
많은
in.
연예인들도 좀 본캐 부캐
And what I mean by
다양한
clean is
모습을 보여주고 계시는데
네네.
윤찬희
his
선수도
his
대표하는
optimization is
부캐 하나
off,
있잖아요.
his micro is off, his decision making, everything is off. That's what he's pretty much saying.
차이점은
So one of the questions to Mong.
아무래도
What is the difference between 윤tung and Mong?
이제 여기에서 이제 합치려고 하는 것 같은데 저 그 사람 잘 모릅니다. 그 친구는 잘 모르는 약간 제 2의 자아로 약간 키우고 싶었던 말 그대로 부캐로
So
키우고 싶었는데 지금 약간
윤tung is one of his another
성향이 너무 강하다 보니까 지금
character
쳐졌거든요.
name that
네.
he's using on his
다른,
YouTube, I
약간
believe.
서로 다른
So he's
분야라고
pretty much
생각하시는
saying you can
지금
just think as a
손절하시는
different
건가요?
person. 윤tung is a different
손절까지
person than
그 친구 제가 굉장히
Mong.
좋아하는데
네, 네.
나중에 굉장히 잘 될 겁니다. 네, 그래서
알겠습니다.
약간 제 2의 자아라고 보시면 되겠습니다.
네.
Just think it as a different person.
굉장히
윤tung is a
흡사하신
different
것
person,
같은데.
not
네.
Mong.
네, 두 분이라고 하니까 일단 그렇게 알고 있겠습니다.
네, 네.
자, 한두열 선수에게 주신 질문인데요. 이
Question
초반에 몰아치는
to Miso.
선수의 강하다라는 평이 있고 후반으로 갈수록
A lot of
힘이
people
빠진다는
value
이야기가
that
있습니다. 하지만
you
또
have
초반에
such a
경기를 끝내는
strong
법이잖아요.
그렇죠.
game
장기전을
in
갔을
early
때
game, early mid game,
핀포인트 전략이
but you started to fall up in
있을지에
late
대한
game.
질문을 좀 주셨어요.
Are you prepared for the late game?
장기전을 갔을 때 제가
Is there any
힘이
strategies
많이
that you
빠지는
prepared?
거는 사실인데
And
그렇다고
Miso
해서
answers
제가
that I do agree that my
뭐
late game
장기전에서
falls a
제가 많이
bit,
못 이기지만 그 승률이 그렇게 나쁜 편은 아니거든요.
but
생각보다.
I do
네.
believe
그렇기
that
때문에
my
오늘
win rate
충분히
in
자신
late
있고,
game
그리고 오늘
is not that
네,
terrible.
보시면은
So I think I'll do
그래도
fine.
성장했다 이런 거를 좀 느껴지지 않을까. 오늘 연습을 많이 했기 때문에 준비를 많이
I
했기
prepared a
때문에
lot, so
바라고
if the game goes a longer
경기를
game,
많은 분들이 좀
or
느낌표,
late game,
물음표가 아닌 느낌표를
people
좀
might
떠올릴 수
value
있기를
me
좀 바라실
or
것 같은데
did not
끝으로 두
expect
선수의
that I will
각오를
be
짧게
preparing this
들어보겠습니다.
well
윤찬희 선수 한 말씀
in this ASL group stage.
일단은 그 연습을 안 한 것 같지만 연습 굉장히 그 방송 안
Any
끌 때
last
긴장
word
많이
towards your
하고,
fan?
그
Yeah,
생각을
Mong is
좀
answering.
약간 이 녹여내기 위해서 저 혼자 나름 또 되게 지금
People
그
might be thinking I did not practice much of game, but I did practice a lot without the stream on.
너 게임 생각 너무 많이 해가지고
그러니까요.
게임
지금
생각 너무
경기
많이 해가지고
생각밖에
말하는 걸
없으신
까먹은
거잖아요.
거예요.
네.
예, 게임 생각을 너무 하다 보니까
그렇죠.
So I'll
예,
just
진짜
he'll pretty much show
안 됐어요. 어제
how well he was prepared for
너무
this group
집중하다
stage.
보니까 어제
It looks like he lost
개인
he lost
방송에서
what he was
게임했던
talking
게임을
about
제가
because he
너무
was thinking about game too much.
어제 졌던
예.
생각은 빨리 털치시고
그렇죠. 예,
오늘
자꾸 어제
승리할 수
그게
있는 생각을
살짝
하셔야죠.
지나가면서
Looks like he's remembering of
지진이 왔는데
yesterday's
오늘
game.
제가 경기력으로 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
But
한재열
pretty
선수
much overall,
옆에 보니까
conclusion is that
기대가 많이 한것
he
같네요. 그렇기 때문에
he's just gonna
저
perform
오늘
really
준비한
well
대로
and
잘
show
플레이해가지고
how much I have
진출하도록
prepared.
하겠습니다.
And Miso
오늘
answered
멋진 경기
that
기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
I practice a lot, so I'll be
네, 하식과
playing well
LG
as well.
울트라기어가 함께하는 ASL 시즌 11 24강 F조 경기 과연 16강에 오를 마지막 두 선수는
So that
어떤
was
선수가 될지
Ask
F조
ASL
경기 지금
event.
바로 만나보시죠.
And now we're gonna be moving into game one soon. Players are going back to their seat. And I'll be turning off the sound soon. Okay, not yet. I'm so excited to see this group F, guys, because we got another amateur who qualified for ASL round of 24. He's in group F, the final group of this round of 24. A lot of people, like in foreign scene, you guys probably do not know who he is, but in Korean scene, like in amateur community, he is a great player. He is a talented player. He does not play StarCraft much as other amateur players do, but his mechanic and decision making and all those optimization is really cool. He's talented, I should say, pretty much. So I wonder how well he's gonna be performing playing against those Mini in Eclipse. It looks like now we're gonna be seeing all those ASL Season 11 round of 16 player. We got 5 Zergs, 3 Zerg seeded player, 2 Zergs who advanced into round of 16, and 1 Terran seeded player Rush, 4 Terran player Royal, Light, JYJ, and Sharp. They advanced into round of 16, and another 4 Protoss players also in it. And this is the ASL Season 11 round of 24 group F today. Mini versus Soso, Mong versus Miso. We got 2 Terran in this group, 1 Protoss and 1 Zerg. And let's see how well they're gonna be playing. I'm so excited to commentary this game. So today's matchup, round of 24 group F, tier 1 is going to be Mini always, tier 2 Mong, tier 3 Miso, tier 4 is going to be Soso, and group F, important point, so spectate point. Season 7, ASL Season 7, Mini actually won a 2nd place, and he hasn't played well in other previous tournaments, so we are going to be expecting how Mini is going to be playing in this season. And Mong also has 25% win rate in ASL Terran vs Zerg matchup. Does he have the solution how to beat against Zerg? It looks like ASTL. In ASTL, Miso was playing really well. Everyone was calling him Superstar. Will he be playing really well and advancing into round of 16? And the final one is qualifier day 2 final rematch. Amateur Soso qualified in ASL round of 24, beating Miso in day 2 qualifier. But once again, they're also in round of 24 once again. So this is gonna be a revenge match if they meet up in the same group. Now I'm gonna be turning off the sound because they're playing background music, and I do not want to get those copyright strikes. So we're gonna be seeing Mini stats, Protoss versus Terran, 5 wins and 11 losses with 31.3%. Even though this sample size is small, but a lot of people do know that his Shuttle Reaver playstyle is just as good as Snow, but with a different taste, with a different decision making. But you should not be underestimating Mini's Reaver micro as well. Okay, looks like Nyoken is here. Hello, Nyoken.
Sorry.
Yeah,
My mic
now,
free.
yeah, now we're on Soso's statistic information that he has played ASL Season 11 qualifier day 2. He beat Toast Girl 2-0, round of 16, some amateur guy, and round of 8, Ride Sky 2-0, and in the final he beat Miso 2-1 and made it through into round of 24.
Yeah,
So how are you doing, Nyoken?
Oh, I'm good. I actually had Korean test today. I was super tired. I stayed up since like 2 a.m. So I was resting.
So you couldn't wake up on time.
No. I actually have another test tomorrow. Got a writing test. It's gonna be super hard.
Oh, so was it a reading test today then?
Well, it was reading, writing, conversation writing, and vocabulary.
Alright,
So 3 tests.
Yeah, alright. Looks like we can talk about your Korean class later. We're gonna be moving into Mini versus Soso. The game is going to be starting now. Can you see what I'm saying? Okay, I'll go over with. Spawning location in the bottom left, the blue is Mini. Spawning location in the top right, the red Terran, this is Soso.
Yeah, so you were telling me a little bit about Soso earlier, a couple days ago. What should players look out for from him? Because he's an amateur, as you mentioned. And look at this, we actually have shenanigans from Mini already.
Oh,
This is super fast. This is going to be what, a 9 gate? It may even be a 7 gate.
it might be 7-8. People used to do 7-7 in the past, but nowadays they changed it to 7-8 because making extra probe actually help Protoss to have those economy follow-up in mid-game as well. It looks like Mini is making 7 pylon into 1 extra probe, so it looks like this is going to be a 8 gateway by Mini.
Yeah, so I actually played Mini on the ladder, and I think he did this exact same thing. And this hits so fast. We see proxy gates often, but this is a proxy 8 gate, as you mentioned. It's going to hit maybe like 10 seconds faster than normal. And this is not the most common gateway placement. Usually it's a little higher up, or it's in the center of the map. So, well, I guess he's not even going to scout at all. He's going to do what we've seen all the Terran players do, which is leave an SCV on the ramp. Now, SCVs don't have hold position.
No.
Yep, and you see that. It sneaks in. So he's going to get a gas steal off, or he's going to have to cancel that SCV right now. Oh, he's not going to go for a gas steal. He's just going to try and... Well, see, now this kind of gives it away, because you should have gas stolen by now.
Yeah, looks like there's going to be the gas steal. And Soso pulled out the SCV earlier just to stop that probe scout. But he couldn't build his own refinery. So the result pretty much is bad for Terran, because he does not know where the second the gateway is. As soon as he figures out where the gate is, he should be making the second barracks, but it looks like he's not going to be building barracks yet. It looks like he wants to confirm where the gate is, but it looks like he's going to be excluding the proxy gateway, and he does not. The Zealot is coming.
Yeah, as I said, those were the 2 common spots to scout for a proxy gate, so he didn't see either of them, so it looks like he doesn't suspect it, but you can see he's building a second marine already, even though the depot isn't done. So he should know. Now Zealot is going to show itself. Oh, he catches 2 SCVs mining. That's a huge deal, because that means that those SCVs are not going to be mining for a long time until those Zealots are cleaned up. Look at the probe. It's still alive. Can deal a bit of damage.
Yeah,
he's panicking.
Yeah, this is really hard. It's not the best solution to hold against this proxy gate. As soon as you realize this is a proxy gate, Terran must be making the second barracks, but he was excluding all those possibilities, and he's staying on 1 racks. He's not gonna have much of a marine, and there's gonna be another 3rd Zealot now coming. How's he gonna be dealing with it when he does not have factory?
Well, he's got to manage so many things. He's got to manage the Zealots. He's got to manage the gas. If the gas goes down, it will get gas stolen again. So this is a very dire situation for Soso right now. Looks like so far he's done a really good job. I haven't seen any Marines go down. The Zealot just being annoying in the back. You can see that the probe at the top wants to get this gas again.
Oh no, the Zealot is finally doing something.
Oh, he did it!
Oh, gas steal once again. Losing one Marine, but yeah, there are a lot of SCVs are attached to the gas and trying to kill the assimilator. It's gonna be taking a while, but looks like Mini made a little bit of a mistake. He's losing all of the Zealots for nothing here now.
Oh, now, yeah, as you mentioned, that's a big mistake. He loses all the Zealots. And in his main, the whole time I've been watching, I'm like, okay, where's the gas? Where's the cybernetics? Instead, he built a second gateway, not a cybernetics. So confusing. Just now taking his gas? This is a very weird follow-up from Mini. I thought for sure it's either going to be Nexus or Cybernetics, as I mentioned. Now Zealot's going to come in again, but there's 5 Marines with SCV support. The micro is pretty good from the Zealots, though.
Yeah, Soso really needs to be careful with Marine micro. And finally, looks like all those Zealots on a low HP took off shields and pushed back. And finally, he's building a barracks at the natural.
So now 3 Zealots versus 5 Marines and a couple of Soso's
Oh no, Marine! Oh, Marines are out of position. And he was focusing on a wrong target. He was focusing on the one that has a full HP Zealot.
Yeah, but look at this micro from Soso with the SCVs. This is like flash level SCV micro. Absolutely bonkers. He's gonna take down all the Zealots. Another one's coming in. He's so confident he puts down a command center. Mini's in trouble. This is really, really good micro from the Terran player. Sure, Zealots are getting Marine kills, but Soso has amazing control.
Yes, so far, Soso is
Are you for
defending.
real?
Ooh, he's defending really well so far, but oh, finally. Oh, he could not take down that Zealot, but he will eventually take that down. But looks like the command center is gonna be much quicker than Mini's second Nexus. So it looks like this might be a great feeling for Soso as soon as he realized how late Mini's cybernetics core is. But I think the scouting SCV died somewhere.
Yeah, and I think Soso should know that all these Zealots coming in constantly means that there had to be a second gate. So he should be feeling great, especially with all the saves on the Marines he's been doing and the amount of damage he's been doing to the Zealots that come in. Second factory goes up. Okay, has he lost an SCV to these Zealots yet?
Maybe 1 or 2, but he did not lose much of it. And since scouting SCV died, he is also building an engineering bay at the main base, but only one single Marine inside of the bunker. Now he has to defend both sides, main base and the natural.
Okay, now it's a little bit annoying because the SCVs are denied mining in the natural, but again, the Zealot in the back of the mineral line is going to get caught. Now, what could be really good for Mini is if he can get, just like this, allow the bottom 2 units to just sneak into the main. Really good SCV while he slits the Zealot slip through. But as long as the goons don't get up, he's fine.
Oh,
but now
no.
if they do get up, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, the machine shop is now complete. The siege tank takes about 30 seconds to make every single, but the Dragoons are now trapped. But the Zealot's trying to save that Zealot, save that Dragoon. And Soso is in now a big trouble.
This was such an insane defense from Terran, yet still the goons get in. And so many SCVs are pulled off the line. Mini's going to start, running away with the game as long as these goons don't get caught. And they are so slippery. It's so hard to catch them.
Yeah, Mini's Dragoon is so slippery. They're moving out from the SCV surrounding. And looks like the robotic facilities also follow up. And Dragoon range is now done. And now the first siege tank will get picked up. This is not a... Oh my god, this is not totally happy for Soso.
Yeah, and I see that the barracks has stopped blinking. So that means there's still that 1 Marine in the bunker. So every unit just waltzes on by. You can see Soso realizes that.
Oh no, repair your tank! No!
Oh, he barely sinks.
Oh no.
Ends up falling, and that goon was down to 1 hit. Okay, he is going to stabilize now because there's just a little too much DPS in the main. But you can see that Mini has salvaged the game. He's up 13 supply now. He's forced out turrets. Not only that, because he's had all these units in the main, he sees exactly what's going on. He knows there's no starport. He knows there's no armory coming in. he can do whatever he wants, and it looks like he's just going to play standard follow-up. It's going to be Reaver
Oh,
with
the bunker! The
Necklace.
bunker is about to fall up, but at the same time, he just attached the third SCV. Save that bunker on time.
Yeah, just barely holds on. What?
Yeah, looks like... Oh no,
my
the bunker
gosh.
fell!
And those tanks can be two-shotted by 2 volleys of each of the goons. Luckily, Soso saves that one tank at the bottom. Shuttle's already out, so that means the Reaver's going to be coming pretty soon. So many SCVs are falling now. He had such good defense in the early stages, and it's all just falling apart.
This is not looking great. He had the command center. The command center was so much faster than the second nexus. He could have follow up into mid and late game, but all those damage that he has been taken by those early Zealot and Dragoon, the run by, he doesn't have siege mode.
Yeah, it's still spinning, so he's got a constant. Okay, now it's gonna finish. Now he's gonna try and focus down these goons. He ends up getting 1. That's okay, but he really needed to catch like 3 of them to try and salvage the losses. Reaver's already out. As I stated, Protoss knew exactly what Terran has. He has no doubt there's no armory during all that chaos. So really all he's worried about is a turret ring. But we see that there is no turret ring. So he's probably going to walk in here. There's going to be 0 counterplay to this Reaver. And Mini already has his third base up and running. So this supply lead that's only about 20 right now, this is going to be actually like a 70 supply lead probably in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I totally agree. And with those, I want to point out that early Zealot and Dragon run by that actually helped Mini to decide to go Reaver first, because if he knows that there's no starport, like no raid, he can just literally go with the Reaver first. And yeah, all those information that he has collected in the early game, he's just trying to execute here. But although Dragon's fall, but the Reaver is trying to do he will be picking up the last siege tank. And I don't know how Soso is going to be managing to keep up this game.
Yeah, this is it. This has just been too much chaos for Mini, and what looked like a really great hold from the Terran player doesn't matter at all when there's a Reaver in your base.
No,
just
Scarab.
killing all of the SCVs.
Oh my god, I feel so sad.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both Terran players. We watched this game in the early stages, and we're like, this is actually about as good of defense as you're ever going to get versus this, and it still doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's gonna be Arcade River Micro by Mini. Not much of SCBs are mining at the mineral, and looks like Soso can't keep up. There's gonna be GG. Wow.
Yeah, so Mini takes the game, and that's really nice from him. However, I am impressed with the Terran's early game. He saved the game. He had amazing control of the game. Just I'm kind of speechless with the SCV control. It's so heartbreaking to see that because he never got more than 1 Marine in the bunker, those units were just able to just run through over and over. But you got to give props to Mini. Even though it started to look like it was going to run into Soso's favor, he kept his cool and he took the game from him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Soso that all those Zealot and Dragon run by pretty much ruined his game tempo. He did not lose much of a SCV in the beginning of those Zealot aggression. He had all those worker count advantage, but those harassment by Mini was so huge.
I kind of wish we had Artosis' stream for a game like that to see his reaction, but we don't. I'm sure he would be cursing like a madman. But now we're gonna be going into our second game. But first, it's gonna be a commercial, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Right, we are back, and that was a heartbreaking loss. Oh,
하시프와 LG 울트라기어가
be our
함께하는
small
ASL 시즌 11
intro about the
에피소드
questions, I'm
함께하고
sure.
있습니다. 온라인으로
Remember, guys, you
시청하고
can
계신
submit
시청자 여러분들을
questions to the
위해
players. I think you just have to post on
안내해드리겠습니다.
one of
자,
the
먼저
Korean
SK
forums.
ASL인데요.
You can get
ASL
a, oh, your question may be selected to ask one of the
게시글에
players.
댓글로 남겨주시면 추첨을 통해 ASL
Hey, if you leave a comment on an
자, 또 하나의
ASL
이벤트는
main
아프리카 게임은 e스포츠 SNS를
stream,
통해 진행됩니다. 3위
and if
라운드에
your
진출한
comment
같은
gets
선수를
selected
좋아요와 함께
for the
댓글로
question,
남겨주시면
then you
역시
get an
두 분을
ASL tumbler.
추첨해서
Only
ASL
four
텀블러를
people get
보내드리도록 하겠습니다.
selected.
여러분의 많은 이벤트 참여를 기다리고 있겠습니다. 자, 앞선 경기에서는
Yeah,
변현재
but we do
선수가
have a
선수를
TVZ
거두고
coming up.
진출했는데요.
Next
두
match
번째
is
경기
going to
윤찬희
be
선수와
Mong
한두열
versus
선수의
Miso. This should be
어떤
interesting
선수가 승리를
because
거두고 변현재
Mong
선수를
is very
만나게
good,
될지
but he
오늘의 두
doesn't
번째
seem to
경기
go
지금바로 함께하죠.
very far any season. And Miso had a killer season, like 2 seasons ago. I remember in particular his Zerg versus Protoss was just out of his mind. He was matching the supply of the Protoss players, actually surpassing Snow on, I remember the game in particular, Overwatch. So this should be a good matchup because I think these two players should be pretty even. But look at that versus Zerg record. Oh, that's ugly.
4 wins and 12 losses, 25% win rate. It's not looking that pretty, but Mong is still in tier 2. You cannot underestimate Mong's level, even if he has a really poor record on a Terran vs Zerg matchup. His career pretty much proves everyone that he belongs in tier 2. He will pretty much show how well he's going to be playing in the future.
So I actually haven't seen Mong's TVZ that much. A lot of times when I see him play TVT and TVP. So I guess you'll need to walk us through kind of like what builds does Mong like to use? Is he a 1-1-1 player? Is he just standard? Can we see mech? Is that something that's possible from him?
I feel like he's just gonna play standard because it's gonna be played on Eclipse 2-player map and pretty much stalling Zerg, not letting Zerg to take fourth cast like how Rush is playing all the Science Vessel, M&M, and delaying the fourth cast as much as he can. I feel like Mong is gonna pretty much do the same. And we're gonna be seeing Miso stats, Zerg versus Terran, 3 wins and 5 losses, 37.5%. It's a small data, but he's a great player. He also won a previous Russian tournament back then.
Yeah, Miso's really good. As I mentioned, he's most known for his Zerg versus Protoss. You can see it reflected in the statistics. That's by far his best matchup. And as you mentioned, we are going to be on Eclipse as our first game. Even though Mong might be a standard player, we have seen a couple shenanigans on Eclipse. Remember, the first day we saw Barracks go for delayed Goliath opener. So let's get into our second match of the day. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Winner's going to be going up against Mini in the winner's match. Right, in the bottom left, in the gray, our Terran player, it is Mong. And in the top right, in the brown, it is Miso. Now, we saw Gameo the other day, and we actually saw, I feel like we saw a previous Zerg player too already go for 3-hatch play. Is that making a comeback these days? Because we've seen it multiple times already in ASL.
I'm not sure. Maybe they're just overconfident that, or it could be a little bit of a mind game that they have used 2-hatch meetup so long every game on Spawnbang. So, or maybe they want to do a little bit of a mind game and doing 3 hatchery at the 3rd expansion, like spawning at the 12 o'clock. And you know, if you can take the 3rd guess easily, oh, looks like this is gonna be the A-Rex by Mong.
Yeah, I thought this was just going to be standard wall and then go into command center, but instead, Mong is going to put on a little bit of pressure with the 8 racks, and we saw the other day that I think it was Gameo that ended up going for a fast scout. No fast scout this time, so we'll have to keep a close eye on to whether Miso builds additional drones after he puts down his hatchery, because if he does, he's going to be in trouble. This is going to be standard 12 hatch follow-up. Oh, maybe is that a 12 pool, 11 pool opener?
So yeah.
So this is go ahead.
Mong started with the 8 racks at the natural. So the purpose of this 8 racks at the natural, he wants to snipe that first ovaler, and if he also knows that if it was a 12 hatchery opening and knowing that the spawning pool is really slow, he lost the first ovaler and he has to make another ovaler just in order to make extra zerglings in the future. But it looks like that first ovaler is not going to be flying towards the most natural.
Yeah, more and more Zerg players these days are being especially careful with their first Overlord. And there's the answer to the question of whether we're going to see 3 hatch, because that is a gas follow-up, and with an 11 pool opener, it's going to be a little bit of a hit to his econ, but it's still going to be okay. Monk's going to come in here and see that this was a late hatch, and he's not going to be happy that his 8 racks is not going to do any damage. In fact, usually when this happens to me, I feel like the game's already in a dire situation. So we'll see how Mong responds to this. So far, because the Overlord didn't go through the center of the map, he has not confirmed that this is an 8 racks or not. But yeah, you can see that Mong has, well, he's looking for the Overlord, but he's definitely not going to move across the map.
Yeah, Miso was prepared for this natural 8 racks of Mong's strategy. And as soon as Mong figured out this is a spawning pool first into a hatchery, he'll immediately start cutting off all this marine production and immediately building the command center at 19 supply.
So there is the command center follow-up. More marines being pumped out. That means that definitely no delayed mech here. It's too far along for delayed mech to come out. SCV gets a full scout off. It wants to stay alive as long as possible because lurker openers can be a follow-up after going for, a quick lair. Oh, okay. The SCV does not get cut off just yet, but now it's been a little bit too long. I don't expect to see Hydrogen anywhere. Spire should be going down, whether it's at the main or the natural. And the next couple seconds, now back in Mong's base, this is a somewhat fast gas for how his opener has gone down. I'm wondering what that building is at the bottom left corner of his base, whether it's a super fast academy.
It looks like a rectangular shape, so I think it's a 3rd supply depot, I assume. Yeah,
Well, his command...
Yeah, it should be the 3rd supply depot.
But he is transferring, so it could just be the academy.
It could be academy or 3rd supply. It's not gonna be engineering bay because we can see the 2nd racks is already going up.
Yeah, so it has to have been the academy because Mong supply hasn't shot up to 44 just yet. Meanwhile, 2nd barracks is up or is coming up. Spire did go down for Miso, so everything looks very normal to him. Again, he doesn't know that this was an 8 Rex because he never sent a scout out, and that is the academy already done. So when this fast marine move out happens, Miso may not realize the position that he's actually in, that Mong's econ is a little bit dampered. eBay coming down, Stim coming down, everything looks very normal from Mong. Question is how many barracks is he going to follow up with? Are we going to see fast +1? Are we going to see fast factory that players like Royal and Light are using these days?
Looks like with those fast academy, I feel like Mong is not planning to move out. Maybe he wants to have those academy really fast just in order to have those marine range fast. And he's also not investing his money for the 3rd rack, so it looks like he's going to be staying with 2 racks only and building turret already.
Yeah, turrets coming down, as he mentioned. SCV gets into the main, so that's great for him. It does confirm that it is going to be Spire play, not going to be Lurkers. I think he also scouted the 3rd base and saw that there's no hatchery there. So if Mong is really on top of his game, he should know that there's either a hatchery at bottom right, or he's actually in a fantastic position. There's the eBay, no +1 weapon. So I'm curious where that extra gas is going to go because he's approaching 150. He's been able to skip out on the scanners, and that's actually a big deal because skipping out on scanners allows you to get an extra 1.5 SCVs pretty much. But here come those first couple mutalisks, and it looks like there's really no opening for Miso to get any damage done.
Yeah, looks like finally Mong invested all those 100 investment gas for the +1 attack now. And finally Miso is building a 3rd hatchery at the 12 o'clock. It's not going to be as fast as a regular 12 hatchery into 3 hatch muta, but I wonder how Mong is going to be playing with this 2 racks opener.
That is a lot of turrets at the bottom side. And that may have been a misstep from Miso, because where's his exit? Where's his exit?
Yeah,
Escape path. He's gonna eat the turrets again. Luckily, he only loses. Oh, he lost 2. That's horrible.
Yeah, he will be losing 2 only, but he will figure. He got a lot of information. A lot of turrets were built, and he knows that the 3rd expansion is also late for Miso, and his factory timer. The factory timing is really fast, relatively fast compared to Zerg's tech.
Yeah, so we're gonna have another tank push coming in, most likely from Mong. We saw it the other day, and it hits so quickly that Hive tech is not gonna be done. Miso's gonna have to rely on these Mutalisks dealing a bunch of damage to that tank and hopefully picking it off before it can get into position to bust the natural. Rax is floating away. Yep, now more barracks are coming down. Now that factory did not have an add-on, but he's not mining gas at his natural, so I'm wondering what this actually is from Mong.
I think he's gonna be lifting off to the factory. Yeah, it looks like he's preparing to build another starport. It's gonna be 2 starport opening as soon as he figured out. Maybe he probably scanned the Zerg's main base, but he does not have the Hydrodon ready. So it's just gonna be focusing on getting all those science vessels ready, and that's quite a lot of damage that Mong has taken.
Yeah, look at that Muta control. He doesn't kill that many Marines, but it's so annoying to deal with the Mutalisks harassing your depot and taking shots onto the Marines, because they will die eventually. Now he's going to pop this turret. The top side of the SCV line is going to be exposed. He's going to be able to deal a lot of damage here. He's taking out multiple Marines.
Nice
Another
micro.
turret. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, Mong is suffering just to defend this Muta harassment. And now this Mutalisk +1 attack is now finished. The Mutalisk is going to be much stronger this time.
Yeah, he's able to essentially 2-shot turrets now at ease. I'm surprised that more Zerg players are going for +1 weapon, but I see it very often on the ladder. Oh, that's double groups. That's a double group of mutas there. So he's going to dive this natural in just a second, but Mong is already expecting it. He's sitting there and waiting, and Miso, be careful.
Some of the Marines will be out of position, will get picked up, but as well, Miso is not microing really well. It looks like it's a 1.5 group Muta micro by Miso here. Oh.
+1 weapon does kick in for Mong, so he's going to push this back, but the damage is done. Anytime there's a supply lead like this for Zerg at this point in the game, that is fantastic. He's going to dive the main now. He's going to catch both or all 3 of these turrets, and now Marines are kind of funneling in a line. I don't really see that many medics.
Oh no. Marines are out of position, and a couple of the Zerglings will be distracting at the natural as well, but no turrets remaining at barracks side. If Miso conquers those barracks placement, how is he gonna be keeping up all those Marine medic ball? He really needs some other kind of stuff like the anti-air units to deal with this Mutalisk. He definitely knows that there's no Hydrolist, but I don't know why he's focusing on getting the science vessel when he cannot really defend his Muta harassment.
Oh, this might be a mistake because Mong had so little units and there was only 9, or there was 9 Mutalisks, and now it's down to 6. Okay, of course he has built some more, so he's going to reinforce this, but losing a couple Mutalisks for free kinda really does hurt. But the first science vessel is out. The Hydrogen is at the 3rd base. Mong is struggling big time. I don't know if we see Hive coming in just yet. I don't think we do actually. Oh, more Marines are just getting decimated by this Mutaball, and there are no turrets at the bottom of the main actually. So if he gets in there, he's gonna ransack this SCV line.
I think the Irradiate is now done. Got the first vessel, but not enough energy yet. But all those left side Marine are out of position.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah, but now the Mutas are taking so much damage. There's only 4 Mutalisks left in what looked like an amazing position for Miso. Now all of a sudden he's lost all of his Mutalisks. Basically, he's down to 8, where 4 of them are damaged heavily. Yeah, I knew he didn't have Hive just yet. It has just now started, and Mong's could make a comeback. Yeah, there's the Irradiate. That's great.
Nice split off.
Luckily for Miso there, he irradiated a low HP Muta, so he didn't take as much damage as possible. But Mong is still somewhat in this game. He has taken a lot of damage, though. 3rd base is up and running for Miso. He's got Evolution Chamber coming down. But Mong has had +1 weapon for a long time, so his upgrades should be quite ahead.
Yeah, he is a couple scan here and there, checking at the 5 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And seeing how much of drones are attached to the mineral line. And it looks like now Mong is secured with his main and natural, and he's starting to move out. But he does not know how many lurkers are out there yet. Oh my god.
Oh, he got both! How did he get both?
Oh no, such a great micro by Miso, picking up all those 2 science vessels. Now Miso is buying a lot of time here.
I thought, okay, well, Mong didn't have the greatest early game, but if he can get up a sizable vessel count, he can get back into it. But now taking down the first 2 vessels, that hurts. There's no Look at this. It would have been 3 lurkers that would have gotten instantly irradiated versus a marine ball that cannot be stopped by Mutalis. So that is very unfortunate for Mong, because there was a real window where he could have won this game with double irradiate at the natural. But as played, Miso's now got enough econ to start building macro hatches. The filer mound's coming down. Mong slowly has to rebuild his science vessel count. He's got double eBay coming in, so 2-2 is going to be starting pretty soon. But man, what a save from Miso there to scourge both vessels.
Oh no,
down.
one more vessel?
Oh no,
Will it be
another
getting?
one.
Oh wow! And
Are you serious?
Wow, Miso is on point. He's microing really well, even though he started with a low eco in the beginning and harassing really hard against Mong. And I wonder how the game would be different if Miso did not take all those science vessels. He would have like another, 4 or 5 irradiates ready to use against those lurkers, and Defiler Mount was not ready. Mong would have been, Miso would have been in a terrible spot, but all those science vessels are taken down. Miso is in such a great position.
Yeah, and Mong has actually built dropships. Dropships can be a great choice, but the way Miso has been using his Scourge, you feel like there's no way that this drop is going to get in. However, if it does, as I mentioned, there is pretty much nothing for... he's going to lose all of his Mutalis. I did notice that there aren't that many Scourge. Okay, Mong's going to try and... Well, I thought he may try and bust through. There's only 3 lurkers there. He should have +1 armor too, so it could deal a lot of damage. Lings and Scourge are now set up. And with Marines, oh, can he find a hole at the top?
Yeah, looks like
Are you for real?
ooh.
He does get no, he's
Oh,
gonna
no.
lose both of the drop ships and only unloads 2 Marines and a medic. I thought that at the top he's gonna be able to unload or one of the drop ships completely. Now Lurker's gonna be set up, and that's gonna deny this. And now he busts the front, and luckily in the nick of time for Miso, Defiler
Yeah, there's
comes
gonna
out
be
with
Defiler.
the tomb. Yeah.
And looks like Miso is such a great position. I don't see any science vessel count. I don't see any science vessel on the minimap. And Miso is right now again saturating that 3rd base and using the Darkstorm, pushing back all those Marine medic. And yeah, it's such a great position for Miso. I don't know how Mong's gonna be keeping up this game.
More Scourge are coming out. You are pretty confident that these Scourge are going to connect just based on how the game has been going for Mong. Here they come. Are they going to get a connection? No, this time he does manage to save it. And again, the defense for Miso right now at this very instant is not that great. A Ling counterattack is going to deny the 3rd base. You can see no adrenaline just yet, so that command center may end up being saved. Maybe not, actually.
Ooh, the Zerglings are really powerful. They don't have +1 attack, but they are doing quite a lot of damage and forcing Mong to cancel that third command center. And Miso is also saving up those Vespin gas. Looks like he's saving those gas for Ultralisk later.
Yeah, the Ultras are going to be coming out pretty soon. Typically, you start seeing Zerg players building up their Ultralisk count around 16, 17, 18 minute mark in TVZ. So expect that gas to be used in just a couple minutes. Meanwhile, Mong, as we already saw, had his 3rd command center denied. Now he's going to rebuild it. Now, what is a little bit suspect for Zerg is there's no 4th hatch anywhere. Mong has done a good job to prevent bases at top middle and also bottom right. There's really not that much supply for Miso right now. It's Lings that aren't really even that heavily upgraded.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a Adrenaline upgrade now complete. I'm not sure, but those 3 groups of Zergling, they're buying quite a lot of time, not letting Mong to send all those reinforcements, merging into the center. Looks like he's trying to find a great spot to attack. but there's a lot of Marine medic are standing at the ramp.
Well, Marines are going to deal with this decent amount of Lings at the third base. 1-1 did kick in for the Zerg, I noticed that, but 2-1 is kicked in for Terran. That means +2 armor is going to be coming in pretty soon also. Supplies, pretty much as even as it's going to get in ZVT. Third base is going to complete for Mong, though, and that's crucial for him because his main's going to be mining out pretty soon. But Miso, there we go. He just spent all of his gas, so that's going to be 5 Ultras popping out for him. Firebat's starting to come into play, and now the vessel count is decently high. It looked like it was at least 4, maybe 6.
Yeah, those eggs are probably the Ultraless, and +2 armor is done for Miso. It's evenly matching up with those Mong's M&M upgrade. It looks like he's pulling out one of the Defiler and finding a great position to use play. And Mong realized that there's a Defiler coming up and splitting up a couple of Marine and picking up that Defiler. Nicely done.
A nice pick off there, and you can see that the Ultras do have good upgrades. That +4 armor right now, that's great versus +2. Looked like it was actually more than 5 Ultras, maybe something like 7, so that's a good number for Miso. 131 to 115 supply. Mong somehow, despite the early game, still in it. Good Irradiate's gonna get a couple of these Ultras, 3 of them actually.
Oh no, the drone, the Ultra might be erasing that drone, but he eventually realized he pulled out those 3 Irradiate Ultras towards the center line. It looks like a couple of the Ultras will be going to the opposite side of the center and trying to deny Mong's third expansion soon. Looks like he wants to climb up. Yeah, he'll be focusing on the medic first and slowly climbing up.
Yeah, he's gonna get into the third base, but I don't think that this is the greatest move for Miso. These are expensive units. He does not have a 4th base. You saw that he lost an Ultraless instantly. Dark Swarm luckily is here, so that's going to help save the day. Oh, an amazing Plague hits every single vessel almost, but he's losing a lot.
Yeah, looks like the +3 weapon is done for Mong. That's a good sign. But the Dark Swarm under the Dark Swarm, there's going to be 1 Ultraless. We'll be buying a lot of time and forcing Mong to lift that 3rd command center. And once again, Miso is sending out another army from the opposite side of the center.
Yeah, this one single Ultraless under Dark Swarm is saving the game. A mass Ling counterattack to the natural, but as you mentioned, +3 kicked in. So these Marines are doing work. More vessels at the net, so if there's a D-Matrix here, this attack really shouldn't do much. Meanwhile, Mong, he's just going to use his... Oh, I thought he was going to use his main army to counterattack, but instead it's just sitting there. And Lings and Ultraless are just going to flood into the natural over and over and over.
Yeah, Mong has such a great upgrade, but he is having a tough time dealing with this number of Zerglings and a couple of Ultras. There are a lot of Science Vessels, but he's not using much of an Irradiate. He's not efficiently using all those Science Vessels and denying all those Defiler or Ultraless whatsoever. But it looks like I'm not sure what those 3 vessels are, why it's flying towards the 5 o'clock side.
Oh, he's going to intercept this Ling Ultra attack again. +5 armor, still not done, so the Marines are going to be dealing a lot of damage. But with the Ultras taking most of the hits there, the Lings will be able to deal a decent amount of DPS to the Marine ball. But as I said, these Ultralists are quite expensive. Miso is kind of not getting the trades that he needs, and he doesn't have the 4th base up and running. It's just now going to complete. So this is dangerous waters for Miso because his main's going to mine out pretty soon. Natural going to be mining out pretty soon. Oh, an Eraser, but he instantly loses one of his vessels.
Yeah, looks like those 2 vessels wanted to use erase those drone and not letting Miso to mine all those minerals. And looks like the main base is not paying attention, but at the same time, Plague once again. What a great Plague for Miso, but the number of those science vessels is so huge. I wonder how it's going to be taking those science vessels down later. Did I lose connection? Oh my. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Wow, it did it again. It was working fine for 1 hour and did it again. Okay.
Well, it looks like not much happened because supplies are pretty much the same, but 4th base is up for Miso. But I can see that there's no drones, just mining the minerals. It looks like he may have transferred just now. So Miso critically needs that base. Meanwhile, Mong critically needs the base too because then that's going to be mined out. But look at this death squad of vessels. Luckily, remember, those Mutalisks in the early stages of the game did get taken out. So there's going to be no counterplay, absolutely no counterplay to these vessels right now unless the spore goes up, which it is building right now. Mong does need to be careful. He cannot afford to lose vessels like that. There's 2 of them gone. 3 Ultras are going to try and save the day. If there was Darkstorm, he could hold on, but instead, Mong is going to plow through. Defilers are scrambling to get into position. He focuses down the Nidus. It's not connected just yet. Another Ultra goes down. Another Ultra is probably going to go down. Look at the Darkstorm, or the Defiler. It's so close to casting Darkstorm. Finally saves the day, but another reinforcing army from Mong coming in.
Yeah, all those, it looks like the stream is back on, and what just happened? All those Ultras are gone.
He broke him. There's no defense there. There's no lurkers. There's no Ultras. And this is going to be Mong taking a game that when you saw the natural, the mid-game, you thought there's no chance that Mong can take this game. But instead, it looks like the Terran army is just too strong. I love the spread of Marines and medics. He's taking minimal damage. There's no Defiler support here. And even if there is, can just get instantly irradiated.
Yeah, looks like Mong was able to manage to take down the 4th expansion, and the number of science vessels is so huge still. Nice, he used those plague really nice, but he's suffering because of all those science vessels still alive and using irradiate on those Ultras and Defiler.
Yeah, and even though he lost a couple vessels to the Muta and Spore right there, he does still have 5 left over. Now he needs to be careful because there is a Mutalisk Scout that can just splash all these down just like that one right there. But Miso doesn't have any ground army. The last remaining Ultra, yeah, Nidus goes down. All that's left is Lings.
Yeah, I don't think Miso can keep up. The number of drones is still healthy, but he does not have much of a units remaining. Oh.
I can't believe it. I actually can't believe the comeback that Mong had here. Medics on the ramp on hold position are going to deny all of these units from coming in and saving the space. Miso's not mining now, really. His Nat maybe has just a couple patches left. Mong is still just going to push through. He's going to stim into the natural, try and take that down. And this is going to be Mong really, really just stealing a game away from Miso. And this is best of 1. You can't have games stolen away from you because you're just going to be eliminated.
Yeah, all those Marine Force is now picking more drones at the Miso's natural. Couple of Ultras will be attacking and try to buy some time at 9 o'clock, but this is not enough. Supply count went down to 34, and he's also consuming a couple of Zerglings. Oh my god, this is not looking great.
Yep, 33 supply for Zerg, 110 for Terran. The vessel count, well, now it's been dwindled down, but it's too late.
Oh, the Matrix.
Oh my god, that's heartbreaking for Miso because there was a moment where, remember when he was just bashing down the depots and bashing down the Marines? There was like 2 Marines left and 2 medics, and that was it. Remember, he was sitting over the barracks, but then for some reason he just tried to engage a turret at the natural, and he lost 3 Mutalisks really for free. I feel like that really cost him the game because he no longer had critical mass Mutalisks. However, you got to give props to Mong because in a game where if it was me, I would have just instantly quit once Mutalisks are sitting on my racks, he somehow recovers and he takes the game. And also remember, he lost his first 4 vessels.
Wow, what a great comeback. How Mong managed to keep up all those early mid-game harassment by Miso was doing with his +1 attack Mutalisk. He managed to survive and get those science vessel, and he was just better in late game.
Yeah, that is painful, but that is going to be Mong moving on into the winners match, and he's going to be facing off versus Mini. So don't go anywhere. We're going into a quick commercial, and then we will back and find out who is going to be our first place finisher in Group F.
It looks like they're talking about hot sex once again.
Oh, they are. I guess we never know exactly.
So I was checking out my internet. It says that I did not lose any packet loss, and somehow I lost connection for 5 to 10 seconds for some reason. I do not understand why this is happening to me. It's really weird.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because the first stream was fine, right? Like none of the games, like we
Yeah,
didn't drop at all. But ever
yeah,
since then, there's been consistent drops. So not too sure what's going on, really.
yeah. I was pinging my router for 2 hours so far before this ASL starts, and it shows me I did not lose any packet loss, but the lost connection happened for some reason. It's more of a complex issue. I don't know how this is happening. I have to figure out somehow.
Well, we know that the next matchup is going to be Mong versus Mini. Of course, Mini's the favorite. There's no doubt that Mini is the favorite for the entire group. However, the first game we saw was kind of an interesting opener. I thought that was a really weird two-gate opener, but Mong, the fact that he was able to recover so well, he looks stronger than I was anticipating in this group. Do you think he has a chance versus Mini in the winners match, or is Mini just clearly the favorite?
Mong against Mini, and they're gonna be playing on an ASL new map. So I do feel like Mong might have those possibility that he might be advancing into round of 16 first in this group F, because
Really?
it takes a lot of time to get used to those new maps. And
Yeah, it is.
I heard that Ascension map, Terran versus Protoss matchup, I thought it was the hardest map out of those three new ASL map, but the longer I play, I started to figure out, or other Terrans also started to figure out how to deal with and how they should be playing against Protoss, and they just slowly having better record.
Well, that's good to hear if you are a Terran fan. So Mong, maybe he'll make it out in first place. And there's only three ASL maps, or three new ASL maps, right? There's Hidden Track, Ultimate Stream, and Ascension. We already know Ultimate Stream is
Mm.
definitely a Terran map. That's crazy. We saw JYJ just crush Best on
Is
that.
it?
Is it not? We saw JYJ just massacre Best.
I honestly do not know, because if your opponent is at a counterclockwise, then Terran always have to be expanding their third expansion towards the counterclockwise, and your opponent is at the counterclockwise. They're gonna be suffering so much from those speed Zala with the Dragon harassment.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see because we've only seen really one game on that map. Looks like the casters
Yeah.
are going to wrap up. So we are going to go into commercial and then Mong versus Mini. Hot 6. Welcome back, everybody. We did just see Mong steal a game away from Miso in heartbreaking fashion, but that now is going to mean we're going to be going into a TVP, and it's going to be on Ultimate Stream, and we're going to see if Mong can take down the favorite of the group in Mini, who looked pretty good versus Cash Shield, even though the early stages of the game looked amazing. So we'll see if he can have similar success versus Mong. You were mentioning that actually, I guess, Zealot goon pressure on this map in particular is especially strong. So kind of run us through why you think so.
Yeah, the ultimate stream, it's easy to block the natural ramp. I know it's wide open, but if you build 2 supply depot with a single barracks wall, then you can eventually stop everything. Zealot aggression, Dragon aggression, everything. But let's see how Mong is going to be starting with. I wonder he's going to be doing with the factory expand or Rex expand, or it could be 14cc. But looks like they are pretty much chatting each other, smiling.
Or it could be an 8-Rax, remember? We saw
yeah.
Perfect go for that. I have a feeling we're never going to see that again because do you ever play 8-Rax versus TVP? Well, let's talk about that.
Not really.
Yeah, exactly. Not really. So this is going to be our winner's match. It is going to be Ultimate Stream. It's going to be Mong versus Mini. Winner's going to be one of the last 2 remaining players to round us out going into the round of 16. Let's find out who it is. Okay, in the top right corner, our blue Terran player, it is Mong. And in the top left, our red Protoss player, it is Mini. And this is the exact situation that you were talking to me about a minute ago, where it's counterclockwise spawns, and you're feeling like Protoss has advantage here.
Yeah, because Terran cannot take their third command center towards the center expansion or 3 o'clock side, because that's just too far. the distance like from natural to the 3 o'clock side is just way too far away, so most likely Terran will be expanding towards the counterclockwise, the 12 o'clock side for the third base. But if Mini is right next to you at 11 o'clock, your third expansion is going to be vulnerable. He will be constantly sending his Zealot Dragoon army and buy quite a lot of time, or also go for the trade as well. And it looks like there's gonna be the pylon at the main base.
Yeah, that is quite a forward pylon, but not all the way at the natural. So we'll see if this is going to be a gateway. Actually, Mini took his hand off the keyboard, and this looks like it's going to be a 12 Nexus follow-up. Now, this is the opener that Barracks was hoping for when he played on this map, but that was not the case. This is the first 12 Nexus we've seen on this map, right? So this is going to be a great opener for Mini, because Mong is just doing pretty much a standard open. Now that Rax is at the front, so this could be gasless.
Yeah, looks like this is going to be most likely going to be a Rex expand by Mong, and Mini is also going for a 12 Nexus, so this is definitely happy with Protoss mind game in the beginning, because their Nexus is much quicker than the second command center. And with a single Marine or 2 Marine, they cannot really do anything against Protoss, pretty much.
Now, this is an interesting scout pattern to me from Mong, because if I was the Terran player here, and I felt like there was some type of, spawn advantage for Mini at top left, that I might scout top left instantly to see if Mini gets that, and I might deviate from a build like gasless here if Mini had spawned bottom right or bottom left. But instead, Mong is going to go for a last scout. He's going to find Mini at top left, and he's going to be really sad to see that this was a 12 Nexus, and actually looks like Mini may be able to get away with murder and only go for 1 gate. Now, this scout pattern is very weird from Mong. What is he doing? Like, he didn't really scout bottom right. He didn't scout bottom left at all. Yet, he's going straight to the nat of top left.
Yeah, that is such an interesting scout by Mong right now. But he will eventually figure out Mini is located at 11 o'clock, and seeing 12 Nexus, Mong is probably not going to be satisfied.
Well, I know for a fact he's not satisfied when he sees that Protoss has one gate and has gotten away with 12 Nexus. You want to at least make them build units, and you see there's an instant reaction from Mong sending a couple of Marines across the map. But of course, since this is gasless, there's going to be no Vulture. Luckily for now, Mini doesn't know, or luckily for Mong, Mini doesn't know that there is no Vulture fall. But once he sees that this is gasless, he's going to be feeling great. Now, actually, the Marines have turned around, and Mong's going to kind of have to just take the loss that Mini got away with pretty much the best opener you can hope for.
Yeah, now Mong will be confirming how fast the second gas is for Mini. And Mini is also confirming everything inside of Mong's base, how slow the factory is, and it looks like he figured out that all those Marines are out of position and sending one Zealot, and second Zealot is also coming to Mong's natural, and this is gonna be hurting him.
Yeah, this hurts because now, oh wow, I thought he may pull all of his SCVs and the Zealot kind of just sits in that mineral line, but instead Mong kept his cool, just simply pulled back one SCV that took damage, and Mini turned around. I'm a bit surprised based also on what happened last game when we saw, here we go. The Zealots just wanted to sync up. Now it's going to get ugly now. Oh, look at that. Just one SCV pull. Mong is super cool with this. He knows that as long as he doesn't overreact, he's in a fine position. Factory's coming down. Now, okay, he does need to be careful with these Marines. Look at the SCV control. It's amazing, but the Zealots still get on top. But overall, this is great defense from Mong. First Zealot falls. Now all the Marines are going to die. But really, oh, wow, he gets both of the Zealots. That's great. All of the Terran players so far today have had amazing control. But what Mini did see there was no second factory. And that means that really there's only two options that Mong could be going for. It's either fast armory or it's starport.
Yeah, Mong is gonna be going with the one Vulture. He made on a Vulture because of those two Zealot run by, and there's gonna be the starport follow at the top side. And this Vulture, will he be able to get inside of Mini space? Oh, nice block.
Oh my gosh, he needs
Stargate. Oh, he will be seeing that Stargate. So definitely Mong will be realizing this Stargate is way too fast, and he's adding a barracks right now and then adding extra marine. So it looks like this is gonna be a Eminem timing for Mong, and it looks like I lost connection.
Hello. Well, it looks like the Vulture ended up seeing the Stargate because you see that instantly cancels the add-on on the starport, and he goes into barracks. And this is one of the absolute best counters to Stargate play. The Marines, sure, they don't deal very well with ground units once AoE comes to play, but you can't have AoE and carriers while going for a build like this. So this is going to be a fantastic counter to what Mini's doing. Now he does need to be careful to not show those medics, because as soon as he shows medics, the gig is up. And then, you know, I guess Mini could just start spamming cannons, and then really all he has to do is not die for a couple minutes. This is a hard follow-up too, because this is 7 barracks. A lot of times you see something like 5 barracks, but instead he's just going to go all out with this.
Yeah, definitely this Eminem timing is gonna be super strong because Mini does not have Reaver. He's going super fast carrier, but all those interceptors will get picked off by those Marine. The Marine DPS, I know they're weak, only 40 HP, but they're really good at picking up all those interceptors.
Yeah, so let me ask you just a little question for Terran players out there is, if you're ever in this situation where you're actually going Marine Medic versus carriers, what upgrade are you getting in the eBay? Are you getting weapon?
Yeah, looks like this is gonna be the plus one weapon upgrade for Mong.
So you like weapon. I'm actually on the other side. I like armor because I feel like the interceptors just don't do any damage. But of course, you're going to be shelling out a lot of damage with the +1 weapon. We'll see what Mong actually goes for here. Mini has no idea. Because it's a ramp, he's not even wanting to poke up and instantly lose his probe. Now he sees the bad news that, this is going to be a killer, almost unstoppable army. He has to have cannons or he's dead. That's just a matter of fact here. Since he has no AoE, he has to have cannons. But because there's tanks already out, I don't even know if that's going to save him. So this might just be Mong easily moving into the round of 16.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Mini's gonna be dealing with the submarine medic force with the siege tank. There's a 2 siege tank. They're pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he has the siege mode, but every single 30 damage that he does with the poking, oh, the marine. They're attacking the carrier as well, but interceptors will be getting picked off as well. It looks like Mong wants to climb up. Yeah, Mong really wants to climb up, but he really needs to be careful. This is a underground versus high ground.
You can see that the carriers are trying to keep the marine count at bay. Okay, looks like Mini is going to find a couple of marines just trying to reinforce. And Mong does need to get up critical mass marines, because if 4 carriers get out, they may be able to deal with this amount of marine medic. And behind this is not the unit comp that you want as a Terran player. You can see that support pay has gone down. And actually picking off these 7 marines in the middle of the map is a big deal. Goons so far have done a really good job. I'm surprised how well they've done.
A lot of marines have fallen, not much of a remaining, but it looks like the reinforcement is also coming. But with this number of a marine, I think Mini can defend.
Yeah, he can. I think he can defend. There's just a little. Oh, look at how bad the interceptors are versus marines. But those 2 goons buying time to not allow these marines get synced up with the rest of the marines. It looks like Mini is just going to barely hold, and he does wipe out, or he's going to wipe out the tanks, I think. Also, 4 carriers out. Now, that's game-changing, but Mini did lose his gateway pylon, so he's not able to build any more gateway units right now. But Mong is all in with this, because we don't see Science Vessel even, we don't see Wraith. It's just pure Marine Medic. Tank is going to fall.
Interceptors are dying instantly.
Yeah, they're so weak versus Marine Medic, and there's only 5 goons left over. Something like Templar could have been a good follow-up, because he would have forced out scans nonstop, but of course Mini's just banking up energy. Bottom left, there was a Nexus going down. It has been canceled because Mini realizes he needs all the money he can get to simply just stop this attack. Now, Mong continuing to push the issue. As I mentioned, gateways. Oh, it looks like there are double pylons behind there, so goons are going to be coming out. But this is not the angle. Look at how fast the interceptors die.
Wow, interceptors. Only Dragoons are remaining, but I think I saw the robotic support bay. He really needs to get the Reaver out. The Reaver can stop these Marine Medic really easily, but still no Reaver out for Mini. Mini does not have much of interceptors. He can't really handle this Marine Medic ball. Oh no, this is not looking great. Interceptors are dying instantly, getting picked off.
Oh, there's the Reaver. This could be the unit that Mini needs to salvage the game, but the Marines are split up very well. You're shooting a medic, and it just dies instantly. And Mini, he's on the brink of just being knocked down into the Deciders match. And Mong, that Vulture getting in saved him the game. Yeah, I think it survived with 1 hit, and Mini's got to be kicking himself for letting that Vulture get in.
Wow. What a great timing by Mong with the M&M, with the siege tank. And yeah, it looks like this is going to be GG. Mini does not have much of a money remaining. Looks like he's flying those 4 carrier towards the Mong's base. Looks like he wants to check out Mong's main base before he types out GG.
Yeah, this is, as you mentioned, just a scout or kind of just trolling a little bit. Carriers lose all their interceptors. Mini knows he let that slip. Of course, going 12 Nexus and getting a 1 gate, getting away with 1 gate doesn't mean you're just instantly going to win the game. You still got to close it out, but he knows that that was a gift given to Mong after the Vulture got in. And unfortunately, Mini is going to be knocked down into the Deciders match, but he's not out just yet. But congratulations to Mong, because the TVZ he played, he had a nice comeback, and now that was a great instant decisive reaction from him to just go into the Marine Medic.
Yeah, what a great timing for Mong with the M&M, with the +1 weapon. And Mong is going to be moving into the round of 16, and we're going to have a winner's interview soon. Where is Mong?
ASL 시즌 11 24강 F조 경기 함께하고 계십니다.
So
첫
we're
번째
now-
16강 진출자가
We're now with
탄생했는데요.
ASL Season
윤찬희 선수
11
만나서 이야기
Round of 24 Group
나눠보겠습니다.
F.
축하드립니다.
We have a first
감사합니다.
와 정말 많은 분들이
first player who's going to be
현재
advancing into round of
가장
16
먼저
is
16강에
going to be
진출할
Mong.
거라고 예상하셨는데
Congratulations.
네.
모두의 예상을 뒤집고 유찬희
Everyone
선수가
did not
16강에 가장
expect
먼저
that Mong will be
올라왔습니다.
advancing into the round of
네.
16 as a first player
저도
in the group
현재가
F.
1등으로 올라갈 거라는
How do you
생각을
feel?
했거든요. 그래서 그냥 좀 편하게 하다 보니까 편하게 하니까 이긴 것 같아요. 그냥 편하게 하니까.
Okay, Mong is answering that
유찬희 선수가 변현재
playing
선수의
comfortably just like when you're at your home playing your
네.
StarCraft.
베럭스를
It helped
빠르게
him.
늘리면서 박하니
It helped him
병력을
to play.
뽑아내셨거든요.
원래 제가 이거
Play really
옛날에도
well.
되게 많이 했는데 그 약간 옛날 이거 한 번도
We think that
그냥
Mini did not
생각 안
expect
하고
that
있다가
Mong,
빠른
you
캐리어를
will be doing
너무 빨리
Eminem
봐가지고
with the C-Tank timing.
아 이거는 그냥 이거 현재
So Mong is answering that.
약간 이런 마인드로 그냥 바이오닉으로 그냥 찍어 눌렀어요.
Mong answered that he
정말
used to do Eminem with the C-Tank timing against Protoss.
네네.
변현재 선수가
often,
좀 이렇게
but he hasn't
그럴
used
여지도
this
없이
strategy
유찬희 선수가
for a
밀어버리는
while.
모습이 나왔어요.
That Mini
운이
totally
좋았던 것 같아요.
forgot
현재가
about this
그냥 좀
strategy.
무난하게 했으면
So,
사실 무난하게
things
했으면
strategy
제가 좀 많이 힘들었을
things just
건데
went well, really
나름
well
좀
for
그
Mong.
저한테
If
좀 쫄은 게
Mini-
있나 봐요. 예, 계속 옆에서 약한 소리 하고 질 것
If
같다.
Mini played
뭐
just like
형은
how
듀얼이랑
regular
해서
Protoss
최종전에서
does,
올라가라 막
playing
이런 소리 하는 거
standard,
보고
then
네.
I probably had
나한테
he probably would have had a tough time
고평가하는구나.
playing against
이런
Mini
생각
for the
들면서도
late game.
경기에 좀 도움이 됐던
But
것
since
같습니다.
Mini was gambling
윤찬희
in early game,
선수를 좀
it
높게
helped-
평가할 수밖에 없었던 게
it helped Mong to
선수와의 첫
win this
번째
game on a
경기에서
winner's
네.
match.
정말 불리했던 상황을 뒤집는 역전승이 또 나왔거든요.
아, 그렇죠.
초반에 스코지로 베슬 두 기가 잘리고 뭐 그랬을 때만
All those
해도
disadvantage side in
사실 좀
early
어려울
game
거라는 생각이
when you're playing against
들었는데
Miso,
네.
mutilous
상대의
harassment,
잘 파고드셨던 것
scourges
같아요.
taking down
이게
your
그냥
sans
저는
vessel.
제발 두여라. 넌 사가스 먹지 말고 무조건 짜내라. 무조건 짜내라. 이 생각만
How are you-
계속했거든요.
네.
베스를 잡히고
How are
뭔가
you-
게임 이상해지면서도
How are you
거기서
able
뭔가
to
사가스
manage to make a
지향하면서
comeback in the
게임을
game?
했으면
And
그냥
he's
끝까지
answering
힘들었을
that
것 같은데 딱
he just
듀얼이
kept in his
답게
mind,
게임해줘가지고
I
제가
should
넬로
never give
바라보았습니다.
Miso's
현재
fourth
선수가
guess.
쌍꺼스
If I do not
체제를
give
오래
Miso's
유지하면서
fourth
네.
guess,
윤찬희
I can
선수가
keep up
파고들 만한
and
좀
make a
빈틈이
comeback in the late
생겨났던 것
game.
같습니다.
네네.
또 오랜만에 16강에 진출한 만큼
It's been a
윤찬희
long
선수의
time
경기력을
that
많은 분들이
you
기대하고 계실 것
have
같아요.
not
네.
shown in
앞으로의
round of
계획도 좀
16.
들어볼까요?
일단은 제가
What are your
사실
future plans?
이거 나오게 또 해주신 또 제가 지금 공익 근무 중이거든요. 네, 공익 근무.
So Mong is answering that he is currently serving the public service, not the military service. It's a substitute for public service, and his boss let him to participate ASL tournament,
네,
and also
16강에서도
let him
윤찬희
to
선수의
stream
멋진 모습
on Africa
기대하겠습니다.
platform.
인터뷰 고맙습니다.
And thank you for him, and thank you for
자,
everyone.
이렇게 해서 F조에서 가장 먼저 16강에 진출한 윤찬희 선수와 함께했고요. 저는 잠시 후에 두 번째 진출자와 함께 돌아오겠습니다.
Like the interview is over, and we will have another commercial break soon. The coming up game is going to be Soso versus Miso. Looks like there's gonna be commercial break. I'll be back soon, guys.
Okay, guys, we are back. We just saw Mong go out in first place of Group F. Minnie's still in it, but now we're going to be going into a TVZ. It's going to be Cast Shield going up against Miso, and it looks like the map this time around is going to be Ascension.
Ascension is a 3-player map. It reminds me of a Blue Storm map. It has a narrow choke, and you have to go to the opposite side for the bigger size unit.
I think this is going to be the first TVZ we've seen all season long on Ascension. Hidden Track was banned by Cast Shield. Meanwhile, Ultimate Stream banned by Miso.
I just remember there was a one game casted for speed versus action. I remember that was in a Group C on Ascension. Yeah.
I already forget what happened there. Oh, it was the Wraith game. How did I forget that?
Yeah, it was a Wraith game into mech.
So we may see something similar from Cast Shield because he is an amateur. I don't have any intel on him. You'll have to kind of tell the viewers if you have any information on his particular playstyle. But this is going to be the losers match. Loser here will be eliminated. Winner will face off versus Minnie in the deciders match. So in the bottom left, in the green, it is Soso. And in the bottom right, our purple Zerg, it is Miso. So we already saw him earlier opt for a pool first opener. That may have been a read that Miso had on Mong. We'll see if he wants to go for another early pool opener here, but I would suspect it's probably just going to be standard 12 hatch. Now, we have no idea really what Soso's going to do.
Yeah, looks like Miso was sending his Overlord towards 12 o'clock, but now he changes his plan that he's going to be sending the Overlord towards to 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a lucky scout for Miso, seeing where Soso is. And oh my god, please. Please. Hello.
Hello. Well, we are back. I was talking about how I expect Miso to just have a standard opener. I don't think we're going to see another pool opener. But what makes this map interesting is there is double entryways for all of the naturals. However, looks like there is still an option for the Terran player to wall off. It looks like that's exactly what Soso is going to be doing. So that's going to give him the opportunity to go into any type of follow-up behind it, whether it's going to be a fast command center, whether it's going to be some one-base play. So let's see exactly what Soso opts into. He is approaching enough minerals, but he queued up another SCV. So it is not going to be a wall into a gas opener.
Yeah, looks like this is going to be the 2 supply depot wall into natural and going for Rex expand most likely. And he does not see the Overlord. That's a bit unlucky. And Miso is going to be doing 12 hatchery into 2 hatch Muta, 11 pull with the 10 gas.
Yeah, so another super fast gas follow-up, more common these days. Even though we did see players like Gameo and Hero pull out 3 hatch play, not going to be the case this time. Still no command center just yet for Soso. Overlord gets into a position where it can spot the command center going down if it pokes in a little bit farther, and that's exactly what he sees. So he knows exactly what's going on. Now I wonder what the follow-up is going to be from Soso. We already saw Barracks go for a Goliath follow-up. Typically we just see Marine Medic, but it could be anything. Nice scout for Soso to get in here so quickly and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, looks like I'm gonna be looking at careful at Soso's main base, whether he's going to be making the refinery after taking the expansion, because some people like to go with the Valkyrie opening, but it looks like he's not going to go with the Valkyrie opening. It's just going to be immediately going with the second barracks without making any Marine.
Yeah, so this could be a mind game, but as I say that, I see the Overlord a little bit too far away from the barracks. But you can mind game the opponent by not building any Marines at the entryway, and then all of a sudden they think you're teching, and you just show up with a bunch of Marine medic, and it's like, oh, where did these come from? But it looks like that's not going to be the case because Barracks does get spotted in the main. Again, a pretty fast gas, but that is just going to be for the upgrades on the academy to rush those out. Meanwhile, Miso looks like everything is going to be normal. No Hydrogen anywhere. So it is just me Muta follow-up.
Yeah, Miso is trying to deny the scouting SCP, but the scouting SCP is still healthy, and that academy is really fast for Soso right now. It's been only less than 4 minutes. Academy is already 50% done, and yeah, he still did not kill that scouting SCP yet.
Yeah, but the Lings have done a good job to prevent the SCV from getting into the main. So he really doesn't know what this is. Of course, more than likely Terran just suspects that it is going to be Spire play. And that is what it is, but it is always a bit dangerous that it could be Lurkers, because when you have this wall, Lings and Lurkers can just run up right next to it, and it can get a bit weird in that scenario. Finally, the SCV gets taken down. Trying to see, yep, that's what I was looking for. Is there a third hatch going up anywhere for Miso? And it looks like top right is where he's going to put it down.
It looks like the academy is already finished. I think the blinking barracks might be the medic. I wonder if it's going to be the 2 medic or 1 firebat with the 1 medic timing attack. It looks like he's going to be, he's confident that he's going to be moving out. But the 4 Zergling is going to be doing some of the run by when the barracks is lifted. Ooh.
Yeah, that is going to be annoying, but it doesn't force a comeback from Soso here. He is just going to deal with it with a single firebat and SCVs. Lings get into the main. Now, I think that is an eBay building at the top of the refinery, maybe, for Soso.
Yeah, it should
But
be.
I hope he didn't forget it, is pretty much what I'm saying, because you need to have it being built at 5 minutes. Otherwise, Mutalisk will get into your base, and you won't have turrets in time. You see that Soso is looking for that third hatchery. He knows he has an opportunity to take it down if he can find it, but it looks like he's not going to find it, and Mutalisk will be up in time.
Yeah, those Marine medics are so out of position. If it was so close, if it was close location when his M&Ms are moving out, but now the 6 Mutalists are out. Finally, he realized that the expansion is at the 1 o'clock. All of his Marine medic at 12 o'clock side. Oh, the Overlord got picked up by the missile turret.
I can't believe it. He's going to supply block Miso at a crucial point in the game where he wants to be building up his Mutalisk count. And you know for sure that Soso realizes he got that. So that is a massive loss for Miso. And just like in the Mong game, so many turrets are being built. And I guess Miso suspected that those Marine medic turned around because he doesn't have anything even scouting the top side of the map. And this Marine ball, which only has like 7 Marines, might actually kill the third base.
Yeah, I think even if those 7 to 8 middles gonna be doing quite a lot of damage inside of Soso's main base, but he's gonna be losing the third hatchery at the drone.
My gosh,
no.
And Miso hates his life right now. He knows that this was a big mistake to let such a tiny army kill top right. And he's not all in just yet, but it may put him all in if we don't see a drone move out pretty soon. I saw the evolution chamber got canceled at the natural, so he doesn't really have a great comp to go for an all-in. Like, he's not going to hit a +1 armor power spike. So Miso is just in a horrible position right now.
Finally, Miso is going to have 11 Mutalists at Terran's natural, but Soso also knows that Miso is going to be doing some damage at the natural, and it looks like he's going to be repairing the missile turret, but 2 missile turrets will get picked up. Still, quite a lot of Marine Force are alive.
He's just going to win with this 7 Marine medics. He's going for a counterattack. Okay, no, I thought he was going to stim for it.
Yeah, I thought so too, because there was only 1 sunken remaining. But it looks like that 11 Mutalists is going to be doing quite a lot of damage. It might make Soso to lift up the command center. A lot of SCVs are getting picked up. Oh my god, this is not looking pretty for Soso. Where are the medics?
Yeah, what looked like an amazing situation is all of a sudden turned into a dire situation. There's really not any SCVs even mining the natural. Marines and SCVs are dying left and right. All those turrets ended up dying. And this isn't even with +1 weapon on the Mutas. The turrets are going to get picked off again. And back in Soso's main, I think he rushed out more barracks instead of tech, so it's going to be a long ways away for him to actually pump out some vessels. Look how much damage he's doing.
Look at the supply count as well, and the number of the worker count that he has so many workers at the natural, but he only got what is it? He brought a couple of SCV from the main base, but oh no, this is not looking pretty for Terran.
No, his marine count has just dwindled, and just like in the Mong game, there's an opportunity for these Mutalisks to just maybe not sit on the barracks, but pretty much pop marines as soon as they come out. He
Oh,
can
no.
constantly go back and forth between the SCV line and the marines, and now Soso is not mining the natural.
Yeah, Soso is right now stuck at
that an
29.
armory?
Yeah, that must be an armory, the starport. Oh, he really wants to get the Valkyrie up, but
It's too late.
yeah, it is too late. All of those workers that he lost, and even if Miso lost at a third expansion at 1 o'clock, he's now making all those comeback. His third hatchery, the macro hatchery is already up. He's gonna be pumping quite a lot of drones by now and switching into another tech.
These Mutalisks are just undefendable, and there's the liftoff, as you mentioned, and that barracks is far forward too. It could get picked off. Miso realizes that if he can just keep the marine count dwindled down, he's going to be in a game-winning position. As I mentioned, Miso was in a bit of trouble. He needed to make a decision. Is he going to all in with this? It looks like he kind of is, because he built a third hatch in his main, but it looks like a drone is going to top middle. Meanwhile, now finally, the Terran player is trading a decent, but still it's 10 Mutalisks.
Oh, I wonder if the +1 attack is... Yeah, it looks like the +1 attack Mira is done. Picking up all those marine, and I think he's just gonna end the game here. He's bringing a couple of Zerglings as well. Is that drone or Zerglings? Is he gonna be making hatchery at Soso's face? I wonder if that's gonna be happening, because remember, Soso beat Miso in ASL Day 2 qualifier.
Oh, he wants to humiliate his opponent.
Oh, he's doing the Mira dance!
Just doing the stutter step with the Mutas, not even firing. He's telling him to get out of the game, Soso. And unfortunately for Soso, what looked like a good position after taking down the third hatch, Miso brings it back, obliterates the natural, obliterates all those turrets and marines, and now, oh man, that's going to be a huge boost of confidence to Miso moving into the deciders match.
Wow. Yeah, Mini is definitely not gonna be happy playing against Miso, because I know he's in a tier 1 player versus tier 3 Miso, but you know, Zerg versus Protoss is always gonna be a Zerg favor. And you know, Miso, even if it's not a good player, like underrating him, he still has a great one punch to kill Mini in best of 1 series.
Yeah, if you were rooting for Miso to get out of this group, this is the situation you want, because this is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss, by far his best matchup. As I mentioned before, his macro versus Protoss is insane, at least from what I saw a couple seasons ago. So Mini's going to be in a bit of trouble. However, Protoss players have learned how to deal with, you know, the mass Hydra style a lot better these days, going into the heavy Zealot, plus 1 armor. So it is still going to be very tough for Miso, or for Mini. But that is going to be our deciders match. Of course, we're going to go into a quick break, and then we're going to find out who's going to round out our top 16.
양념
back.
Alright, we're back to final match. The map is going to be Fighting Spirit. Are you with me now, Nyoken?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see you unmute, so I wasn't sure if we were actually back or not. But yeah, we are back. It is going to be the final match of the day. It is Mini versus Miso. Mini kind of had a heartbreaking loss versus Mong, so you know he's not feeling too good. But Miso, on the other side of the spectrum, gets a very nice win versus Soso. And as you were talking about, it looks like they had a bit of history there. So you know he's excited to be going up or to not be eliminated right now and actually.
Oh, Miso is smiling. Miso is smiling. Mini is also smiling. They're probably chatting each other. But Mini is definitely not going to be happy playing versus Zerg, because Miso's early aggression is scary. If he makes a little bit of a tiny mistake in the beginning, he might just flip the table around and Miso might be advancing into round of 16 easily there.
Oh, this is something we haven't seen that often. That is going to be Fighting Spirit. I'm kind of sad that Artosis isn't here to tell us how great of a map Fighting Spirit is. But this is going to be the final match of the day. Winner here makes it into the round of 16, and that's going to be the last finisher for the round of 16. Let's see who it is. It's going to be Miso versus Mini as EVP on Fighting Spirit. Right in the bottom right, our yellow Protoss player, it is Mini. And in the top left, we have our dark green Zerg. It is Miso. Now, as I pointed out, Miso's EVP is fantastic, and even you were saying how good his EVP was. However, I do have to say, back when Miso was killing it, Forge Openers was the go-to, but now with meta shifting towards the Gateway Expand, I don't know how well Miso is going to fare here. Now, there is cross spawns. Is there anything that we should be looking for with cross spawns here, particularly in ZVP?
Well, first of all, we can think that Mini's not building the pylon at the natural. I thought it's gonna be making the pylon at the natural, but that's gonna be a main base pylon by Mini.
Is that a mistake?
No, I don't think so. He's planning to go with 2 gateway in the main.
Yeah. I also don't think it was a mistake, but the fact that he was banking up all the minerals before building the pylon, I thought, wow, he just was zoning out and didn't build his pylon on time. But as you mentioned, that this is probably just going to be a 2-gate. So let's see if that's going to be the case. There's one. He's building more probes, so it may not actually be a 2-gate.
Oh, it's a... Okay, we gotta be careful. We gotta be looking at Miso's strategy, whether this is gonna be the 12 hatchery or 11 hatchery, but it looks like he made an extra drill. This is going to be a 12 hatchery by Miso. Lucky for him that is a Mini is cross spot, not at 7 or 1 o'clock size. So the Zealot will arrive a bit slow compared to the other spawning location. So this is looking great.
This is a 2-gate. So this is something you really don't see ever these days. This might be the first time I've seen an actual 1-base play from a pro in years. So we'll see what Mini wants to follow up with. And will it throw Miso off? When Miso sees that this is a 2-gate with crossbond, I imagine he's feeling like, okay, I just won the lottery. And he's going to find him first. This is amazing for Miso. But because, you know, nobody plays like this these days.
He just shook his dad. Did you see the webcam? Or face cam? Yeah. It's like, oh, it's 12 hatchery. As soon as I think he was expecting Zerg will be going with overpool, but he went 12 hatchery. So I do not know much about knowledge, but judging by the what is it? The face expression by how Mini is doing as soon as he realized this is a 12 hatchery, it might be the hardest to counter. Like the 2 gateway versus 12 hatchery is like the worst situation that he will ever face.
Yeah, that is going to let Miso get up a pretty fast sunken, and there is the Nexus follow-up. Now, as you mentioned, Miso is very dangerous with his aggression in the early stages. It's going to be hard for Mini to balance his Zealot count while also building cannons, while also teching if there is some pressure play from Miso. Also, because there's no Sim City at the natural, all of a sudden, even something like 2 Lings can be dangerous because they can easily slip into the main. So far, the Zealots seem to have backed off for now.
Yeah, Miso also used the 100 Vespene gas for something. I would like to see whether that was for lair attack or the speed Zergling. I want to see Zerg's main base, but we do not know yet.
Well, looks like Zealot did shark around to the top side of the map. He is just waiting for his opportunity. Looks like Mini is starting to build up his SimCity at the natural. That's going to be a pylon down there. Meanwhile, still no gas for him. As I mentioned, you've got to be very careful to balance your tech while also cannons and unit count when going for a build like this.
Oh, it's
More
more
Lings.
Zergling. So it
He's
must
just
be,
waiting.
yeah, it must be the Zergling speed first. But he needs to kill that probe really fast. Oh no!
He can't let it in. And once he comes in here and see, oh, he luckily has let it in. But I think Mini already knows that this is just going to be a Ling attempted flood. And instantly that's going to be a lair. Oh, actually, lair was already along. I didn't realize. That's going to be a fast spire. I love this opener because now Mini not only has to build cannons at his nat, he has to build cannons at his main too. And we see there's no gas, there's no cybernetics at all. So it doesn't even have to worry about Sairs. So this is a fantastic response from Miso. Drones behind this, so he's not completely all in. However, his econ is really shot right now.
Yeah, such a nice wall at Mini's natural. 2 pylon with the forge. Couple of zealots will be lined up and not letting Zerglings to sneak in. But look, I want to know how slow Mini's tech is. There's no gas yet, no cybernetics core yet.
Yeah, everything is super, super slow. You can see that, I guess Miso expects some type of hidden zealot because he went for a nice Ling spread throughout the center of the map to try and catch something. But there really isn't anything except for top right, just one zealot kind of walking around aimlessly. Spire's about to finish, and I am getting so worried for Mini because he really didn't scout much in the main. He didn't even really scout for third bases that well. So he doesn't know exactly what this is. All that's been shown are Lings, which is what you're going to build anyways versus a lot of Zealots. Now this move out is interesting because it might be designed to force more Lings out instead of Mutalisk.
Yeah, it looks like he is confident with those number of zealots. It's total 8 zealots. So in order to deal with those 8 zealots, Miso really needs to have about two groups of Zerglings to hold this, but looks like he doesn't want to make extra Zerglings. He's going to be making a sunken colony, and all those Vespene gas were used for Mutalisk.
Well, the Zealots are going to come in here and see the Mutalisk pop right now, so he knows that Mutalisks are out onto the map. One Sunken and Ling should be able to hold this, and he's going to trade his entire army to try and force the Mutalisk back. Behind this, we don't know how many cannons are going down in the main, but Mini needs to get them up right now. Looks like
he has it!
He's going to defend!
Yeah, he's gonna defend. I think he's gonna be defending the main base, and Miso is taking quite a lot of damage. I wonder what that 3 middle is gonna be doing.
Miso's all in with this. He has 2 hatches. There's no third hatch anywhere. Sure, he's got Mutalisk and he can deal damage to like the probe line if it can get into the top side of the minerals. But really, he is in a horrible position right now. And also, he's stuck with just Mutas. Like, he doesn't have Hydrogen, doesn't have Lurker follow-up. I think Mini may even go into something like double Stargate. That could be an option for him. But his Stargate's done now. He's got 2 cannons in his main. He's got cannons at his natural. Actually, there's not that many cannons in the natural now that I'm looking at it. It looks like that mineral line's a bit exposed. But other than that, he's fine.
Yeah, another 2 zealots will be sneaking towards the 12 o'clock side. And Mini will definitely building extra more cannons, and looks like he's gonna be staying with the 1 Stargate, and he made a 2 Dragons for... I wonder if this is gonna be the Corsair into Dragon range follow-up.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. He's going to build a lot of goons, a lot of Sairs, and when he can't pump out some goons, probably just have some Zealots built to soak up hits. Drone goes to the top side to build a 3rd hatchery, but they say hello to these 2 Zealots that are moving into the natural and to the main. That's going to be a drone pull. All of these drone pulls are so critical, or they're going to be losing so many minerals. So cannot lose a drone. When you have so few larvae, he loses 1. He may even lose a 2nd.
Yeah, there are still quite a lot of Mutalisks are there, but they can't really leave their base. There's still 1 single zealot alive at Miso's natural. Wow, somehow Mini constantly sending those 2 zealots out at a time. And it looks like, yeah, Miso is going to be finding that 2 zealots spotted on the center.
Well, he needs more catches like this, just free units on the center of the map, because he is in a really, really bad position right now. He, as I mentioned, doesn't have the larva, can't pump out an excessive amount of drones to get his econ going. His third hatch is not up and running. There's no hydrogen. There's no evolution chamber anywhere. I wonder if he's just going to continue building Mutalisks. Like, am I going to see +1 armor pop on those Mutalisks at any point? Meanwhile, I'm a bit surprised that Mini hasn't put down a lot of gates. He's floating a bit of money.
Yeah, I think Miso is slowly going for the late game tech, late game switch, because we can see additional hatcheries being made at the natural and the 12 o'clock side. And looks like he's going to be staying with the 4 hatchery with the Hydralisk then switch.
Well, this was a double Stargate. I thought it was just going to be 1 gate with the goons, as you mentioned, but instead, he is going heavy on the Sares. And if he does end up getting +1 weapon on the Sares and there's no +1 armor for these mutas, they are going to die in the blink of an eye. 4th hatch going up for Miso. He's still down 30 supply, though. It looks like a 5th hatch even at his natural. This is not really a scary ground army, but with +1 already down on the Sares, looks like there's about 7. Miso is going to be in trouble. He needs Sunkens at his third base. Oh, he may catch these goons.
Okay, finally the +1 armor is ready for the Mutalisks and Scourges, and looks like the Scourges did not do much of a damage here.
Yeah, none of them connected. Meanwhile, the Sare count did not die at all. And that means that Miso, he's probably just going to get run over by these few ground units comboed with Sares. Those mutas are dangerously low.
Scourge just took the damage.
He takes out the goon. Okay, of course, we know that there's not much defense here for Miso other than the mutas. Okay, now he is going to push the issue. 5 Zealots are going to jump on that. Wow, that's so many so many Scourge, and all of them connect. Now there's only 2 remaining.
But the Mutalisks are so on a low HP. Eventually he will be picking up all those Corsairs, but he's going to be losing some of the mining time. But it looks like the more of a Zealots and yeah, the reinforcement is coming from the center and towards the 12 o'clock side.
Yeah, more Zealots are going to be reinforcing that third base. Meanwhile, they're splitting off between the Nat and the main, trying to force some more drone losses, like right there.
Oh,
and it
no.
is just to be mass mutas from Miso because he's just consistently building them. Zealots are focusing down that hatchery. They may have enough DPS to take it down. You can see that Miso is scrambling to get these Mutalisks in position. Drone Trail is great, bugs out a little bit of the AI, but not enough, I think, to actually save the day. Yeah, hatch dies. Oh man, Miso critically losing that third hatch.
Definitely not happy with this result. That all those Scourge did not connect to the Corsair scoops. Oh yeah, it is a double Stargate for Mini. Mini is constantly making all those Corsair once again and rotating a couple of Zealots and buying some time and keeping up all the supply count right now.
Yeah, and behind this he has multiple gates going up. It's going to be like a 6 or 7 gate follow-up. He's got his third base going up. Also, he knows that he can keep the Mutalisk on the other side of the map, so he doesn't really even need to cautiously take it, like build cannons before attempting to build the Nexus. +1 weapon is done in the arc.
Yeah, the plus weapon upgrade is done for the Archon. And it looks like I lost connection once again. This is terrible situation. Looks like, but Scourges are trying to take down some of the Corsairs, but they won't be. They're losing all the middles. I think this is gonna be a GG soon. And let's see if I can get my connection back. Hello.
Well, it looks like Mini is probably about to finish this game because Archon and Zealot are into the third base. There's a lot of Sares still left over. Yeah, all of the hatches go down. Hydras will start popping out, but they don't have critical mass, of course. They're going to fall. Mutalisks aren't in critical mass. He sees that the third base is going to be up and running pretty soon, and it's just a matter of time now until Miso pops out. He may kill all these Sares, but it doesn't matter because he can't stop the third base.
Yeah, all of the Mutalisks died to the Corsair earlier when he wanted to defend at the 12 o'clock side, but all those Zealot and the Archon army is looking scary. Not much of a Hydralisk are there to defend this small amount of army that Mini has.
Yep, there is the GG, and Mini, who looks so upset seeing the 12 hatch and cross spawns, still manages to take the game. And Miso's follow-up with the Mutas, I thought that was going to be great, but unfortunately for him, the Zealot move-out timing from Mini was fantastic, and then despite getting all those Scourge connections on the stairs in the middle of the game, it just wasn't enough. The econ was just lacking too much for Miso.
Yeah, I wonder if the game would be different if he had switched to Hydralisk much earlier and staying with a couple of Mutalisks. But I think the moment when he started to make more Mutalisks, and you know, double Stargate literally kills all those Zerg air units.
Yeah, Mini made something like 9 stairs, and it's just ridiculous DPS versus the air army from the Zerg. Now we're going to be going into a quick interview with Mini. He's going to be our last place finisher, or last finisher, making it into the round of 16. So of course he's very excited, and that does keep the racial balance. I think Terran has 6 reps, 5 for Zerg, and now also 5 for Protoss.
ASL 시즌 11 24강 F조 경기 마지막
ASL
경기까지
Season
함께
11
만나보셨습니다.
Round of
16강의
24
모든
Group F
선수들이
is now
결정됐는데요.
finally
마지막
finished.
16강 진출자
And we're gonna
변현재
be-
선수 만나보겠습니다.
We're gonna be meeting
축하드립니다.
up a
감사합니다.
final player
경기가
who's gonna be
끝나고
advancing into
정말
round of
가슴을
16.
쓸어내리는
Congratulations to
듯한 변현재
Mini.
선수의 모습을 봤습니다.
We saw your
윤찬희
reaction
선수에게
that
일격을 맞으면서 심리적으로도 좀 많이 위축했을 것
were-
같은데 한두열 선수와의 마지막
you were a
경기에서도
bit
변현재 선수가 가슴이 좀 철렁하셨을 것
worried
같아요.
that when you lost against
앞마당이
Mong in
12시에
the winners match,
없었거든요.
that you had to play against
변현재 선수가 탄식하는 소리가 저한테까지
Miso in
들려왔거든요.
final,
그때
and
좀
we
무슨
also
기분이
saw
드셨어요?
your
와,
facial
그러니까
expression
조현이랑 이제 게임을 할 때
that you went
시골이
with two
가까운
gateway
맵일 때는 이제 앞마당을 빠르게
versus 12
먹는
hatchery.
행동을 하다 저한테 많이 졌었거든요. 그래서 이제 빠르게
So
마당을 먹는
Mini is
행동은 절대
answering
안 할 거라고
and
생각을 했는데
explaining about his situation
와,
that
대각선에다가 이제 마당까지
Miso
빠르니까 갑자기
lost a
졌다라고
lot to
그러는데
him
어떻게
when he
좀
was
잘하라고
taking
일단
12 hatchery and when he was
탄식하고 난
doing the
이후에
main
변현재
base
선수의
to
움직임이
gateway
굉장히
opening.
빨랐습니다. 본진에 캐논 공사하고 그리고 질럿 병력을 나눠서 뮤타를 묶어놓으면서 시간을 좀
You left
버셨거든요.
your
그래서 어느
zealots
정도는
and
좀
also had
가능성이
the
있다고
main
생각을
base
하고
cannon
플레이를 좀
up
하셨나요?
already before the
뭔가
Mutalisks.
엄청
were
불리했어야
out.
됐다고 생각을 했는데
네.
질럿이 이제 쳐들어가고 나서 생각보다 괜찮아 보이더라고요.
Mini is answering that when those 8 zealots arrived to
이제 뭐
Miso's
하나도 다
natural,
출발했으면 이제 좀 뭐
he realized that the
졌다고도 생각하고
he
아니면
realized
다
that the
막았어도 이제 좀
game
엄청
flow
불리한
was
운영을 했을
okay
거라고
for him,
생각했는데 이제
even if his
좀
tech was
애매하게 해서
late,
제가 좀
because those 8 zealots did
변현재
quite a lot of
선수 오늘
quite a lot of
최종전으로
damage
올라가긴
and
했지만
bought a
첫
lot
번째
of
경기
time.
배우현 선수와의 경기가 굉장히 인상 깊었습니다. 전진 파일론, 가스러시, 매너 파일론까지 좀 아마추어
So the
선수
caster is
상대로
saying
벽을
that,
느끼게
we
해주겠다라는 각오가 경기를 통해서 좀 와닿았어요.
We were impressed how dirty you were doing gas steal against Soso in game number 1 against amateur Terran.
계획한
Like
플레이였나요?
gas steal
일단은 아마추어
and
테란이
pylon rush and all those
처음
approximate
올라온 거잖아요. 처음 올라오면 이제 긴장할 수밖에 없기 때문에 그 긴장한 거를
and
잘
how
활용할 수
and
있는 방법은 무조건 전진 게이트.
how did you make a plan up with
운영을 가면
make a
잘하기
plan with
때문에
it? And he's answering that
편하게만 하지 말자는 생각으로 이제 썼을 때 준비했어요.
Soso is his first time qualifying for ASL, and I definitely know that he's gonna be nervous in his first game. So I decided to play as dirty as much as he can.
활약할 줄 알았는데 질럿이 생각보다 엄청 잘 먹어가지고
네.
12 길막도 좀 좋았고 뭔가 멀티도 좀
Mini
빠르고 저는 좀 많이 털 줄 알고 이제 본진에다
Mini
게이트도
is
하나
saying
던지고
that
천천히
he was a
바라가
bit
먹자고
impressed how
생각했는데
well Soso
허이가
managed
너무
to
잘 막아서
defend those zealot
나중에
aggression
갔던 질럿이
and
본진으로 들어가지
SCB
못했어요.
blocking the path of the zealots and killing all of his zealots when he had 3 of them.
맞고 난 이후에 변현재 선수가 많이 좀 흔들리셨을 것
And
같은데
his command center was also faster than my
윤찬희
Nexus,
선수 말대로
his
좀
Nexus as
윤찬희
well.
선수를 조금 무서워했던
But he did not
게
defend
요인이었을까요?
really well when there
그
was
경기를
a
복귀하면서 좀 어떤 생각을
zealot with the
하셨나요?
Dragon run by.
조금 쉽게 생각했어야 되는데 괜히 빌드를 짠다는 생각으로 이제 준비를 했는데 이제
How's
상황도
your
이제
feeling when you're
제가
playing
이제
as Mong? And
멀티를
he
빨리
is
먹고
answering
상대 이제
that
배럭을 찍고 멀티를 먹었잖아요. 상황도 괜찮았는데 좀
네.
he noticed that it was a Rex
무난하게
expand
할
versus
거리라는
12
후회를
Nexus, And I know that my expansion is much quicker than his.
리버 캐리어를
I know
했으면
that
어땠을까 하는 후회를 계속 하셨다고.
그렇게 이제
I had the
캐리어를 빨리 간
economic
적은
advantage
거의
against Mong.
몇년 만에 해보는 것
So
같은데
I was overthinking.
영재형이
I
연습을
was
도와줬었는데
overthinking
네.
going for
괜히 빌드를
straightforward carrier. That was my
잘 짜서
total
가야겠다는
plan.
생각을 너무 많이 해서 이제 상대 테란이
And I think
공격이 이제
that probably
공부하고
cost me a
있어서
game to
연습을
lose
많이
the game.
못하잖아요.
If I have
좀 쉽게
if I have
생각하고
played
이제
if he has
경기를
played
했어야
a
되는데
river
너무
into carrier, it
또
could have been a
이렇게
different
많은
result.
생각을 한 게 그 다음 16강에서는 또 어떤 도움이 될지 모르는 거니까 변현재 선수의 16강이 굉장히 기대가 되는데요. 앞으로의
We're gonna be
각오를 한마디
casters are
팬들에게
saying
밝혀주시죠.
we're gonna be expecting to see
일단
lots of
류리
full
형이
game
어제
from you
연습을
in round of
엄청 열심히
16.
하더라고요.
That
그래서 제가 이 정도로
overthinking
꼭
in round of 24
한다고
probably
했는데
gave you a
그게
lesson and
아쉽게도
improve
좀 그렇고
your future
저는
game.
이제 16강
Any last word
만큼
to your
이번에
fans?
이제 4강까지 목표는 꼭 이루도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
네, 16강에서도 멋진 모습 기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰
He
고맙습니다.
said he'll be playing really well in round of
자,
16
이렇게 해서
and
ASL
try to
시즌 11의 마지막 16강
go up into
진출자
semi-final
변현재 선수와
at
이야기
least,
나눠봤습니다.
and he really wants to win an ASL tournament this season. And congratulations to me.
Yeah, so big congrats to Minnie, because you know it was heartbreaking for him to lose versus Mong. Of course, we're getting a recap of the games today. And now we're going to see the racial distribution. As I mentioned, 5 Zerg, 6 Terran, 5 Protoss players. So this is as even as it's going to get. Every single player that made it to the round of 16 played very well. There's nobody here where you're like, wow, they should not have made it through. Like, this is a killer lineup. And there is going to be the group draws coming up pretty soon, right? And we're going to find out where the players are going to be placed. Remember, there are still 4 more players in this tournament. We have Thoma, Zero, Larva, and Rush. They did not play in the round of 24. You can see that they are seeded. And yeah, I'm just waiting to see what the groups are, because this should be probably one of the best ASLs, I think. Like, everybody, there's, up and comers like Royal and Rush have been killing it every single season. On the ladder, Rush makes the ID ASL champ Rush. I'm waiting to see if today's or this time he is going to make it happen. Is there anybody here where you think, or is there like an underdog here that you think could potentially go the distance? Because of course there's the favorite queen to go for a three-peat. Actually, he's 2-time champ in a row. But is there anybody here that you think could sneakily take a championship here?
I have a feeling Royal might have a potential to make it into semi-final in this season, because he seems like one of the Terran players who is adapting into the new map really fast compared to the other Terran players. Other Terran players, when they're playing a new map, they are suffering so much. They are trying lots of strategies, like when they're playing against Zerg, trying out 1-1-1, trying out Valkyrie build, trying out mech opening. But Royal is absolutely playing well in a new map.
Yeah, Royal and Rush in particular have been playing very well the past few months. I think I will agree with that. I think Royal could make a really deep run this season. Actually, even though the Protoss players, these Protoss players are the best of the best, I don't think Protoss players have been doing that well, actually. What are your thoughts? Like, well, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I feel like kind of Protoss players are not showing up as strong as the Terran players these days.
Yeah, I'm not sure either too, because they are pretty much afraid to play against Zerg in the tournament, because all those Hydralisks and the speed Zerglings in early game and the mirrorless harassment, they're pretty much saying that it is really tough to deal with, like how Terran used to suffer against 2-hatch Muta when it was getting popularized. Same thing is happening for Protoss players. They're suffering so much to deal with the Zerg's units.
Well, we did just see Minnie pull out a one-base play with the double gate, so I wonder if that is going to be something we see more often these days from Protoss players, to keep the Zergs on their toes. And maybe that is a potential meta shift where we may see that more often. I personally don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. It did lead to a victory for Minnie. So again, guys, that's going to be it for the cast today. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a pleasure casting with Scan. We've got all 16 players set. I'm excited to find out what the groups are for round of 16. I agree with your pick with Royal going deep. I'm going to be rooting for Rush, of course, because I think his ID is hilarious every single time. But I would also like to see Zero win 3 times in a row, because other than Flash, I don't think anybody has ever won 3 times in a row.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't even know if anybody's won 2 times in a row. So this is quite impressive if Zero could manage to take down a 3rd victory. I know that a lot of fans are, or a lot of foreign fans are big fans of Soma. He went very far last season. Remember, he got 3rd place. So this could be the season that he makes it to the top 2. So definitely watch out for him. And actually, the player that I'm most curious to watch is Effort, because we know that he came back recently, and I want to see if he can actually turn it on and get into shape and make a deep run in this tournament. Right now, I think he's still kind of a bit off from his military, but it would be nice to see how far he can go.
Yeah, also Effort recently came back from those military service that he has been doing a year ago, I believe. Maybe it was less than a year, but he's still trying to keep up and trying to get back on his shape and perform really well. I wonder how well he's going to be performing against Zerg versus Terran matchup, because before he did his military service, we saw, was it in Season 7? I think it was Season 7 or so. It was Effort versus Flash, and he had an insane APM that time, like using about like 500, 600 APM against those 1-1-1 strategy that every single Terran has been doing. But I'm curious how he's going to be playing in this season.
Yes, it was Season 6 where it was Effort versus Flash. If you have not seen that, you definitely need to watch that, and I would highly suggest the Circuit Breakers game, because there's a moment in that game where you're just like, what just happened? And you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch that game. There's a specific moment where it's just crazy what Effort does. So definitely check out that game in particular. It was an amazing series. So yeah, I will be excited to see what Effort can put up in, or what his results will be this time around. As you mentioned, I'm also curious about his ZVT, because a lot of Terran players are way better these days. Like, if you look at the Terran squad, Rush, Light, Royal, it's just crazy. And players like JYJ, who I thought were a bit of a bit lacking, I was not expecting them to go far. They really showed their skill in the round of 24. So Terrans in particular are very strong. Oh, there we are.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
I saw you tab, so I thought that the stream ended.
No, I didn't do anything.
Well, we do have, I guess they're still talking about Hot 6.
Yeah, looks like it.
So do you know when the group draws are going to be happening, and exactly how do the group draws work?
All those seeded players will be picking each player one by one, and it's gonna be like a snake. What is it? Snake shape. Like, first player is gonna be previous ASL champ. He's gonna be picking the player. Second place will be picking it. Third place will be picking it, and the third, fourth, and then after the fourth, the fourth seeded player picks the player, he will be picking once again. So it's going to be back and forth like a S shape. So we call it as a snake shape.
Yeah, snake picking. And then I think at the end, the winner can switch one person, right? Is that correct?
I do think so.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see how the groups play out. If you were Zero in this situation, well, I think for sure he's going to switch out a Protoss. But Protoss players, even though we were saying that they are having trouble with Zergs, I mean, they have gotten a lot better with the gateway expanding, putting pressure onto the Zerg. I think this is going to be it. So again, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with the round of 16. So definitely tune into that. It should be very exciting, and we'll finally find out what the groups are actually going to be. So for me, for Scan, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.